Well, hello, friends, and welcome to Virtual Strangers 101. I'm your host, Wes. With me, as always, my good friend Roots. Roots, how you doing on this fine Sunday afternoon?
Well, good. Except for I was just telling Mash I was spent the last 20, 30 minutes unclogging a roommate induced garbage disposal with glass and everything and rotten food because I love my roommates and I just couldn't take it anymore, Wes. So I fixed it. I don't think they're even aware that you can fix it. Like my roommate said, oh, it's broke. I said, well, did you reset it? Did you like get the Allen wrench? And he looked at me like he had no idea what I was talking about. That's Roots' life away from VR. So
Well, we all have our things that we try to escape from
that's it.
when we put the headset on, and that's yours, right? The broken garbage disposal.
Yeah, I was thinking it'd be a good game, dude. Like if I wanted to get into a nice like fitness game, punching game, have my roommates pop up, boom. Well, one of them anyway. But yeah, no, I
Hey,
don't.
I'm sure it's coming. The 3DS had the AR game on it, and I forget what it was called, Face Raiders or something like that. And you would take pictures of your family, and they would turn out to be the enemies in the game. So maybe we've got a VR game in the works that does something similar.
That's a good idea, actually. You know what would be cool, Wes? And maybe this would be. Let me ask you this: would you put Bruce Nelson on there? Be punching the crap out of him, bro.
I'd be too afraid, man. I wouldn't lift a finger.
Yeah, that's right. You'd be hiding.
Oh man, but
Uh,
what a week, right? And what a year. Um, we've been playing Swarm for a few weeks now, right? And it's been tough not to say anything to anyone about it because the game is just so addictive and so awesome. Now, um, for those of you who may be tuning in to get our long form thoughts, we generally do our review discussion on Wednesdays. Sunday we normally stick to just the news, the stories of the day, and then we come back on Wednesday, the late night show, to talk about the games. But man, I'm going to go ahead and just spoil it for everyone now. Swarm is friggin' awesome, right?
yeah, dude. And how cool was it to have that put together of all those different content creators that had us involved? I always like to see us getting to talk in the conversation. But what's blown me away more than how good it is the few people like Shark. I'm gonna throw you out the Shark. Hey, what's up, Shark? That say, man, I don't know what this game. Why is everybody raving? I've been playing 40 minutes, bro. This game is just nothing special. It's just the same old swinging around. And if you could have seen me reading it, my jaw was like, ah, like what is happening? And I guess everybody, not to each their own. Not everybody likes every game, but this is one of those games that I fell in love with the very first time I played it. Like you said, I wanted to talk about it with everybody. I had a few select people that had the game that we could quietly and whisper, um, and keep it quiet. And I wanted to shout to the world how good this game is. And it's just it keeps getting better, Wes. The last time I went in, I started utilizing the dash a little bit more, and I realized I was doing it wrong, bro. And it's just so good, dude. Like if you, this is a game that's well worth the $25 in my opinion, and we'll get into it more on Monday. I'm assuming if there's any more to say after that, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, we've been waiting on this one for some time. This was a game that was revealed, early to mid last year, and it was delayed. It was delayed late last year, and unlike a lot of other studios, these guys didn't mince words. They didn't make excuses. They just said, "Hey, you know what? We want the game to really match our vision," and they had a very ambitious vision for what they wanted this game to be, and they delayed it so that they could get it right. And now we get to see, we all get a benefit from their patience, right? Because they've delivered this game that it's all about the movement. And I know you've heard us say this before about other games of this style, Jupiter God specifically, but this one's a little different. Um, there's some there's some things about the movement scheme in this game that seem like small things at first, but as you gain experience, as you get used to the differences in the movement with this game, you get very good. And when you start to do things in the game without thinking about them, it's just like it's like magic when you're in there.
Man, it is like magic, dude. And Phil Yarn says we're killing his wallet. Yo, I agree, Phil Yarn. We're killing all of our wallets because these games. This is another example of exactly what I've been saying the last couple months. Really, it's just game after game. It's the gameplay. It's the gameplay that gets you in there, that grabs you, man. I don't care how beautiful the game is. If the gameplay is not there, it's not going to keep you in there. You're going to go in there for a little bit. This is one of those games that it's got that one more, but like you said, I think you nailed it. It's the movement is each time I go in, I'm finding out more. And I'm even watching this guy play and the way he right here, he grabs both of them and he like pulls and he clips him. One of these moves, he's like flipped himself up in the air, bro. And like, there's so many different ways to do that. I found myself, yeah, right there. He goes up and he kind of pulled himself up in a backwards way. And I found myself flying up, shooting things behind me upside down under through my legs. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
I'm like
yeah.
because you could. It's just it's so cool, dude. This is Space Invaders meet Spider-Man, and it's awesome.
Yeah, man, it's just another example, and I got to thinking the other day, toward the end of December, beginning of January. I don't remember who it was, but someone left a comment on one of our videos, and I don't think it was a regular. I think it was a visitor, if you will, and they left a comment that 2020 was an outlier, that 2021 wasn't going to have any good games out, and it was going to start to slow down this year, all the positive momentum that
Mm.
VR had. And, while it's true that we're still waiting on some of the higher profile releases to come our way, what really we weren't expecting maybe so much coming into the year was just how good some of the lesser known games were going to be. The baseline is rising. It isn't just that the best games in VR are getting better, but the average games are becoming good now. The good games are becoming great. And I was just thinking about, we're only 3 months in to the month, or sorry, 3 months into the year, and we've already got games like Hitman 3, right? The Eye of Atlantis, Crashland. How awesome is Crashland? Now, The Lost Eye, Awake In, Flow Weaver, Z Race, The Climb 2, Cosmo Dread, Floor Plan 2, Doom 3. I could keep going, man. But we got to stop somewhere. I mean, we're averaging a very good to great game per week now, and we haven't even gotten to your Lone Echo 2s, to your After the Falls, to your Wraith the Oblivion Afterlife, which is coming up in less than 2 weeks. Dude, there's too many games, and it's a good problem to have.
Yeah, it's funny too because it didn't. People were saying that like, we're not even what a year away from when the Quest. It was just everybody was saying every week like, where's the Quest games? There's no Quest releases. You'd have a couple, maybe it was a year and a half ago, but and now they're just like you said, they're coming out like crazy. And this is a discussion I had with somebody the other day, and I don't remember who it was now, but I said something about Quest exclusives, and they said there are none, and I said no, dude, there's like 10 or 12 now. Like I started naming one just off the top of my head, Jurassic Park, just we're starting to get to the point where there's a lot of games on here you can't play unless you have a Quest or Quest 2. And whether they come to PCVR is a different story, but I think it's time Scion gets his Quest 2, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Enjoy the arcade. He says arcade games are fun for blast. I don't know, man. My thing is it's such a weird thing to get hung up on, but this is one of the best games I've played in this year, if not the best, and one of the best all overall I've played in general. The gameplay is phenomenal. So yeah, that's where I
Yeah,
stand.
when you think about games like this, when you think about Crashland, you think about In Death, it's getting to the point now that the Quest library has matured, not only with the exclusives, but the cross plats. Uh, there's enough on Quest now that if you have a Quest 2, I could see this platforms sustaining a VR enthusiast. Like there's enough on Quest to keep you in games forever now.
Yeah, yeah. There's definitely not. I mean, I've got myself. I've got, and I don't even have every game because there's several games I refuse to buy, like Moss or whatever, because I already have them. Too much expensive. I've got like 75 games, I think, on my already installed, ready to go, and that's, you know what I mean. Like, it's not all of them. There's at least 100 really good games, and I mean, it's just crazy.
Yeah, and like in Death before it, I think Quest is my preferred method of playing Swarm because, like, we played it on Quest for the weeks that we had it before launch, and then launch came around, and I wanted to check it out on PC. So I plugged in my G2 and played it through Revive, and it played perfectly. There was that extra boost in clarity that comes with the PC and the more advanced hardware, but I found myself frequently tied at the ankles roots by spinning around so much because this game is all over the place and it's so fast that you don't want to take time to use the turn feature in the game, even though there is, smooth turning, snap turning, whatever you want. It takes too long. So you want to play this game standing and you want to turn physically. And I found the tether to be a problem. It worked well with virtual desktop as well, but honestly, the difference visually between the standalone version and the PC version is minimal. So more times than not now, when I go in to play this game, I find myself doing it the way that I've, did it for that entire 2 weeks pre-launch. I find myself just putting on the Quest and playing it that way.
Yeah, well, that's the way I prefer to play it. The last time I played it, I streamed it via the Oculus app on the with the link, and I was streaming, so I'm more aware of facing the camera. So I was deliberately forcing myself to use the sticks, and it was when I figured out the dash, and I was crushing my scores, dude. I was getting like in the top 100 or the low 100, close to the night, like the under 100 for the global leaderboard on some of these things, right? And I know I would have crushed it even more, but I was gimping myself by using that turn because I wasn't going to turn and be facing backwards or whatever. And it's a game that's, well, I think it's way better wireless. I mean, you can play it tethered, and but it's one of those games you're going to want to just flip around however you can, because you're going to need to, whether you're bouncing around. That's one of the things that I like too, is like you're in this dome, and so like if you swing back out to a certain point, you're going to bounce off the dome, you bounce off that bell, you're bouncing off all sorts of stuff, and there's just so much going on, and it's chaos. It's what I like to call quote unquote controlled chaos, where you feel like you're controlling it until it's out of control and then you die. But it's super fun, and I recommend it absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. So tune in on Wednesday, and we will elaborate. We'll have a discussion that's a bit more I don't know, formatted, if you will. We'll break it down segment by segment, controls, graphics, sound, gameplay, pros and cons. Although I can't find very many cons with it at all at this point. I mean, how cool is it that these guys actually had the patience to hold their game until it was ready? And now, not only do we get to reap the benefits of it, but they do too. I'm 100% sure that they've got a hit on their hands here.
Yeah, and timing's everything, and there's so many headsets out there, and people were ready for a new game, and there's not anything like this, dude. That's my thing. This is thinking outside the box 100. Who hasn't played like I said, Space Invaders or any shooter like that? And then to mix it with grappling hooks and a dash move and all sorts of stuff, like it's going on, and it has real physics the way you're swinging in this thing, right? Like when you swinging around, you like taking this arc, and it's just crazy. I get so wrapped into this game that time just melts away, right?
Yeah, dude, that was kind of a problem with me because I got stuff to do. I got to go to work. I got to get a nap before I go to work, and this game really eating into my sleep time.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah. Onakazi says, so if the quest didn't exist, please spell out how much more epic this game would be without its insidious influence. Maybe he's talking to Scion, I think, as far as saying that if there was no Quest 2, this game might not exist, or you wouldn't be
Yeah,
able
I
to
don't
turn
know.
around, or uh,
Well, certainly these guys would be a little bit more strapped for cash. I think we can all agree on that.
yeah. Well, and you were saying just last week, right? All the amount of headsets on Steam, Oculus Quest 2, all the headsets sold, period. I mean, it's blowing up, dude. So
For sure. Yeah, the hardware blowing up, the software in turn blowing up, and the content library maturing just in the nick of time. Everything's lining up perfectly, Roots. You know, we have all those games I just listed off already this year, and again, next what uh, 10 days we get Wraith, the Oblivion, Afterlife, and then it's not going to be long after that, Roots, that we're going to have Fracked on PlayStation VR, and then all the other stuff that we already know is coming. It's already been a great year for content, and we're just getting started.
yeah, absolutely. Technoglitch says he wouldn't buy a Quest 2 at this point in time, which I understand tech because you already have two because he bought two on release. And then if that's not what you mean, I disagree because and I've said this last week and I said the week before, and I'll probably say it again next week, just because I keep seeing it everywhere. I would pick it up now, bro. I think we're gonna be drying up on some Quest 2 pretty soon here. Everybody's waiting on the new headset that we don't know how long far away it is. And in the meantime, technology is becoming harder to get worldwide. So, you're telling people that to hold off on getting an amazing headset that I remember last year, was it last year or a year and a half ago, when people couldn't get the Rift S, they couldn't get the Quest 2, 1, they couldn't get shit, dude. And then people were whining in the Reddit, man, I want this, I can't get it. Oh, you want to be on that boat, hold off on getting it. That's my advice anyway.
I think it's pretty sound advice.
Yeah.
Anyway, lots to talk about today. A lot of cool new announcements this week, and we're going to get into all of that. But before we do that, let's say hello to our friends in chat. Of course, Scion joining as always, coming in to get his weekly fix of PlayStation VR and Oculus Quest news. Uh, Techno Glitch, hello. Quadzilla and Onakazi in the house. Mash Daddy, as always. Tiffany, hello, hello. GamerCat13. Lipnox, hello, sir. Techno Glitch, Greg's VR. Um, Traveling Man 3775 says there's going to evidently be a game that comes out to only work for the Quest 2 and not the Quest because of the support descriptions in the store changing. Oh, I did not notice this. So basically, what he's saying here, Roots, is he can see the writing on the wall and that it appears that they're about to drop the mandate for Quest 1 support.
Huh? Well, I didn't read that part of it, but I'll tell you what, I did answer the exact. I said that was going to come sooner than later, right? So definitely, I agree. It's going to be sooner for sure.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're getting to the point now where there always has been a huge disparity in the capability of the two devices, but we're getting to the point now where the Quest 1 users are such a small fraction of the overall Quest user base that I think that the Facebook pretty much isn't afraid of pissing off those few people anymore because they don't really matter in to their bottom line.
Yeah, people bitch, but then they cave in anyway. So all those people that say I'll never have it, will get one, and then if they don't, then they'll get excluded out. You be on the outside, bro, looking in.
Yeah, I was thinking about that, earlier today because I understand where Sion's coming from, and he doesn't like all the BS that Facebook has brought with it, with the Quest 2, and that's understandable. But I mean, it is what it is, and it's going to be what it's going to be. And I mean, at this point, as far as content goes, as far as good games go, I mean, other than like the prospects of PSVR 2, which is somewhat down the line still, I think that Oculus is going to be the big driver behind the bigger AAA releases. Mike Verdu and Mike Dolan recently coming out and saying some things about the direction of the Oculus catalog and the type of games that we can expect over the next few years. And I mean, people are just going to end up giving in at some point, right? If they see awesome game after awesome game after awesome game getting released, and they're all Oculus exclusive. I mean, are VR enthusiasts seriously going to just sit on the sidelines and miss all the best games just on principle?
I would hope not, but I mean, if they're a true enthusiast, you would imagine not. But some people will say, "Bro, it's questical, dude." Um, I don't know, man. You know, it's I some of the best games I've played, period, in VR have been on the Quest 2 because of the gameplay, and you know, Swarm being one of them, Crashland being another, and those just both I just played within the last month, and it's just crazy, and they just keep coming out. And doesn't mean that they're not going to be on PCVR, but I would imagine if you want to play good games, unless you, I mean, pride can keep you from doing a lot of things, man. Maybe they just never will. They'll miss out on some of the most amazing games out there, bro. But they can say, I didn't cave in, dude. I hate Facebook. And they can stick to their
Yeah.
guns, dude, you know?
Yeah, I got to imagine that must be a difficult position. I mean, you're sitting there trying to make a stand on principle, but then you start to see Resident Evil 4 VR come out, Oculus exclusive, and then you see Splinter Cell VR come out, Oculus exclusive, Assassin's Creed, Oculus exclusive, and who knows what else. I guarantee that they've got 10 other games in the pipeline now, and Uh, the gap between PCVR and Quest in terms of quality, in terms of production value, that gap is getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. And I mean, it's to the point now that the Quest 2 enhanced games look way better than a lot of what the PCVR games looked 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, these same guys that that talk about how bad the Quest games look. I mean, we're loving it just a couple of years ago on PC. So I got to imagine that it's going to become rather difficult for people like Scion to stay on the sidelines as the Quest games, get better not only in production value but in scope and scale. Um, you know, I don't envy these people. I'll just say that.
I don't either, dude, because as I read comments where he says they're graphically too poor to interest him, um, I just, you know, what am I wasting my time in this Quest 2, dude? These environments are so shitty. I can't even get immersed, bro. I've never once gone into a game and thought, whoa, like, yeah, this just like, I don't know. I just thank God I'm not that weird in that way. Cause like, if I go into a game like this, I literally feel like I got sucked into this comic book swarm world where I'm having to fight off these things. And it's just phenomenal. I'm not stopping and saying, well, you know, the cell shading graphics are a little bit, no, I don't know.
Yeah.
Weird. You're weird,
Anyway,
Scion.
yeah, you're weird, bro. Uh, anyway, more to come on Swarm later this week. Let's talk some games, Roots. And this past week, our friends over at Without Parole, as we mentioned on our last couple of episodes, they finally had their April is PSVR AF event that spanned 3 days, three 20-minute long or so productions put on solely by Brian Paul. And if you're watching this, Brian, well done, man. You guys keep leveling up over there. And it's incredible what you accomplished this last week. Unexpected. I mean, you guys keep hitting new highs. But I mean, this was a big step up for you guys in terms of your position within the larger VR community. So yeah, you should be proud of what you accomplished, and kudos, my friend. Uh,
Absolutely.
but but anyway, um, 3 days of developer interviews, gameplay clips, never seen before gameplay clips, and new game reveals, and even the stuff that they had Roots that we knew about. For example, um, they had new footage of Rhythm of the Universe Ionia. They had new footage of Hubris. You know, we talked about Hubris about 6 weeks ago. Amazing looking game. But we didn't have a lot of details on it. Well, we do now because Brian talked to the developers for 10 minutes. So even the stuff that they covered that we already knew about, uh, we have way more info about it now going forward. And those two that I specifically mentioned, Rhythm of the Universe Ionia and Hubris, those games looking more and more like they're just going to be incredible when they launch later this year.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're right. Everybody in the chat's just saying how phenomenal. I was just going to type it out as agreeing how good, fancy edits, production value. Those guys are solid. Absolutely the best VR channel on YouTube, PSVR related, if not overall. I can't say definitively overall because that throws me under the bus, but we all know the truth. So they probably are better than us, 100 times better.
Yeah, well, they leveled up legitimate.
They're
They leveled
awesome,
up
dude.
legitimately this week, as you know, kind of before they were in the same category as us, where they're more reviewing games and commenting on the news. This past week, that they leveled up because now they're making the news. They're breaking the news. They're becoming a news source. I mean, this past week there were Upload VR articles based on what happened on Brian's channel last week. So, I mean, that's a significant change for them. And I mean, it's kind of what we all strive for, at least those of us who cover the news, like us here. I mean, I can think of two or three occasions in the history of our channel that we actually broke news. And I mean, they broke news probably on 6 or 7 games last week. So just incredible what they're doing over there.
Yeah, absolutely. For sure.
Anyway, let's talk a little bit about what they're doing over there because this past week our friends at Without Parole revealed the next title from 2MD football developer Truant Pixel. We talked about it last week that Truant Pixel had been teasing an announcement for like a week or two, and they've had these really cryptic promos that they've been putting out on social media and YouTube. And we didn't know what it was for. We could just tell that it had a cool vibe. Well, now we know that it's for Runner. And Runner is a 1980s anime inspired motorcycle action game. The game's artwork, of course, cel shaded and heavily influenced by 1980s era anime like Akira. The city shown in the reveal trailer is dark and dystopian, and it features a synthwave soundtrack that fits well with the visual aesthetic. The gameplay seems to take some influence from Road Rash, as players will drive down long stretches of highway at breakneck speeds, fighting off various enemies from a first person perspective. Roots, how long have I been calling for Road Rash in VR? Pretty much the whole time you've known me, right?
Yeah, yeah, dude. And yeah, I don't know, man. Just this looks. People that say cell shaded. This looks amazing, right? Especially if you're really into anime. This looks really cool.
Yeah, man, it looks great. And not only in the just the sheer value of the production, but I mean just the style. This thing oozes style, and it's a world that I want to visit. As soon as I possibly can.
Yeah, and like we always say, shooting is always good in VR, especially riding a motorcycle. Looks really cool. D-Real says he hopes this is for Quest only. That would be amazing. I think it's just PSVR as well, right? I'm assuming if it was on the PSVR.
Yeah,
also.
yeah, it's coming to all major platforms.
But it looks really cool. Looks like it'd be a really cool arcade game. I don't know why some people are against arcade games, but this thing looks really cool. And like we always say, if you're gonna make a game in 2021, it needs to think outside the box, and this one does that right off the bat, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And we've got a description here from Truant Pixel. Uh, and I quote, Runner is an arcade inspired VR driving action game. Players take on the role of Mina, a rogue mod courier at the center of a massive citywide pursuit. Beginning in the heart of the Presidium, the neon drenched capital of the mining colony Moon N351, Mina's only means of escape is through the thoroughfare, a massive high speed expressway that snakes through the entirety sprawling colony complex. Pursued by the forces of the Caldera Corporation, Mina must race through 7 sectors while fighting off relentless waves of autonomous corporate combat drones. Using only their wits, their cybernetics, and a unique array of special abilities, the player will become the runner in this fast paced, kinetic VR experience. So, you know, it's a fast paced game. Obviously, there's some racing elements here, even though it isn't a race in the strictest sense. Um, but it's like a combat race where you're trying to escape. All sorts of different enemies, like drones and other vehicles, are trying to run you down and stop you. And you don't just have pistols. I mean, that's your base weapon. But apparently, Roots, there's going to be a very creative and unique set of weaponry and abilities that come with your bike that you're riding. That's really what's going to set the game apart in terms of gameplay.
Yeah, looks like several different types of things. You got one gun, you got 2 guns, you got gun on your vehicle, missiles. It looks like you got some kind of a robot. Says Onikazi says, "Oh my God, was that the big quadruped mech straight out of Front Mission?" I don't know what Front Mission is, but it probably is. No, I don't know if it is or not, but it looked cool, right? Gamer Tag's in
Dude,
the house. What's up, Gamer Tag?
hey GT, welcome, friend. No, man, it looks amazing. It looks like some of these enemies are really going to take your breath away with regards to the scale, right? Some of these things are just huge, and I got to imagine that it's going to be quite jarring as you're, again, moving down the highway at breakneck speeds, taking on drones. Things are, falling off and crashing all around you, and then all of a sudden, this gigantic mech enters the fray. I got to imagine it's going to stop you in your tracks.
Just the whole atmosphere, dude. It looks so cool. The city looks cool. And like you said, the scale, the city, just everything about it. I think it looks like it's going to be really cool. And it's so different than 2MD football, right? Like it's been several years since they put that out, and they've obviously been working on this the whole time, which is cool. And I just think it's cool to have a game like this that I didn't even know existed last week. All of a sudden, hey, here we go, boom! And when is this coming out? Is it soon, or has it been? Did they say?
It's no date on this game quite yet, uh, but all we know is that it's coming to PSVR 2, PCVR, and then they mention mobile VR. So we got to imagine that means Oculus Quest.
Yeah, I can't imagine. It's coming for Go exclusive, your little pointer thing. Somebody said that they still have a Go. I feel like that they should have upgraded that sucker a long time ago. All right, get a freshie.
Yeah, you can pick those up on Facebook Marketplace for like $50 now. And I was wondering if it would be worth the investment just to have it as a media viewer, because the Go does have a very high resolution panel in it, even
Mm,
by today's standards. I think that the panel in it is higher resolution than the Quest One, which was a good display in its own right.
yeah. Mash Daddy coming through with a $5 donation says it's all about the gameplay, yo, and I 100% agree. That's the theme that's Roots' theme for the year. I think I need that on a t-shirt. It's all about
It's all about the gameplay.
Yeah, yo. Don't forget the yo.
Yo. And Gamertag agrees. He says, I just hope the gameplay is there to support the cool imagery.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree, man. It's certainly a cool concept. And I have faith in them, man. These guys, Truant Pixel, they're no chumps, right? They've been around a while, not only, with the 2MD football that everyone knows about, but these guys also do traditional games. and even beyond gaming, they were one of the more prominent artists that developed the dynamic themes on PlayStation 4. I don't know if you had any of the dynamic themes on PS4 Roots, but they're the themes with the moving background that has cool
Mm-mm.
effects and sound effects. Really, that was what I knew them for initially, and then then I found out about 2MD football.
Oh wow.
So yeah, these guys they've been around a while and they're very talented. Um, I got to imagine that for them to come forth with a concept like this, that much like Green Sky Games and Swarm, they're going to sit on it until it's ready. And I think that's probably the reason why they haven't given us a release window yet.
Wow. Yeah. Well, that's cool. Well, I'd rather have it be perfect when and ready to go when it's ready, right? Lipnox makes a good point. Says he wants to get it for his kid to introduce him into VR. And there's nothing better than giving your kid something that if they break it, you're not it's not that big a deal. That's a $50 headset all day long. So that is all the way around a very valid point.
Yeah, and there's some legit games on Go. I mean, there was obviously they're 3D off, so they're limited in movement, but still beautiful 3D environments that you're immersed in. And how many games do we have on Quest now? How many good games do we have that were adapted from Oculus Go? I can think of a few off the top of my head here, like the I can think of the games. I can't think of the titles of them. Um, what's the zombie shooter that we played recently, Roots?
Death Horizon
Death
Reloaded.
Horizon.
Yeah.
That was a 3 DOF game initially, and wasn't Republic also a 3 DOF game?
It was absolutely. I need to play that game, Wes. That's a really cool game, gameplay wise. But you're right. And even what's better than like you with a kid, you want simplicity anyway. So 3DOF is perfect.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I mean, it's certainly easier for a child or a traditional gamer to pick up and be able to play. It's more something akin to what they're used to, right?
yeah. Yeah. And I don't know if it's has Minecraft lip knocks or not. I think it does. I'm surprised when is a Minecraft VR coming to Quest 2 or Quest in general? Because when it does, it'll sell. That'll be a headset seller as well, man. Like, that's such a people that are love Minecraft dream of going into the world, right? And there's nothing more crazy than being able to build something and be in that world. And so I think that'll be a big release when it comes out, or if it comes out.
Now, how weird is it that Minecraft is literally on every device known to man except for Oculus Quest?
Yeah. Well, and it wasn't what PlayStation VR till recently. So I'm sure it will come to Quest because I remember a year ago or whenever it was, people in the PlayStation Reddit saying there's no way it's coming. It's you idiot. It's a Microsoft game. It's never coming to Sony. So you know what I mean? Like they know exactly what these companies are doing behind the scenes. It's amazing to me.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. The lost. Oh, Onakazi says Ken, Hero Bound, Reflex Unit, and Clockwork Kingdom. I will also add Coaster Combat to that list as well.
Yeah, dude, that's way better than you thought it would, right? I mean, it's not breaking the thing, but it's such a it looks so good and it's shooting and it's I'm even riding the roller coasters. It is amazing. And I think that would be a game that would be amazing to have more DLC for. Because I feel like it needs more courses, right?
Yeah, and then there was that other game,
I know
that Doom shooter that we reviewed last year from our friend that's developing Stones of Harlath right now.
hmm,
Um,
can't remember the name of
man,
that.
I'm having a
I'm pretty sure
brain
Crashland
fart
was
rather.
on I know Crashland was on Gear. It may have been on Go as well.
Well, that video you shared was an old Oculus Rift dev kit.
I know, isn't that
TK,
crazy?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, and
that's
they were playing
crazy.
with Razer Hydra controllers. Because there were no such thing as motion controllers for VR back then.
Can you imagine how high tech that was at the time? Those kids were like experiencing something that just wasn't out there, bro. You know?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I remember, I remember how awesome it was when I first discovered VR. So I got to imagine that those kids' minds were thoroughly blown, just like everybody the first time they get in the headset.
That's your kids, bro. They're getting their mind blown with all this tech, dude. Wes is getting all the high tech stuff. The first time your daughter uses the your vest that you're getting down the soon. Um, all these things, you know what I mean? Imagine trying them when you were their age. You're setting the bar really high for them.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that that's not really even a concern because even though the bar being set high for them, we're still in the infancy, bro, and it's just going to get so
Hmm.
much better over time.
Yeah,
So,
that's true. Bionic Hunter the Doom. I don't know. I've never heard of that. Have you heard of that one, Wes? Bionic Hunter the Doom?
no, it
No.
sounds awesome.
Yeah. So, but yeah.
Um, anyway, Runner, not the only big reveal this past week from our friends at Without Parole. They also revealed Wanderer, which is a time traveling PSVR adventure thriller set in development by Oddboy and M Theory. Wanderer allows its players the power to travel through time and space. Early promo material notes that, quote, the past changes a little every time that we tell it. Let me read that again because I totally butchered that line. Early promo material notes that, quote, the past changes a little every time we retell it, which could hint at some interesting storytelling and gameplay aspects. The reveal trailer shows off some escape the room style puzzling set across different historical eras. No potential platforms have been revealed as of yet, other than PlayStation VR, and no release date has been announced other than 2021. Roots, did you watch this thing in its entirety? Because, as impressed as I was with, a lot of the games that they showed on their special, this has got to be towards the top of my list in terms of hype level. How something with this kind of polish on it has gone and flown under my radar for this long is beyond me. This thing actually looks pretty awesome, and it looks like it's pretty close to a finished product. I mean, obviously trailers can be deceiving, but I mean, this thing looks like it's in a pretty good state right now.
Yeah, there's actually a lot of discussion earlier in the chat about this game. I guess this was impressive to a lot of people. I didn't actually get a chance to watch the entire thing as far as with sound. That's what the conundrum for me. Usually, as I'm downloading whatever's coming out, I watch it while I'm doing the scenes, but I don't have the sound on. But it looks really amazing visually, really cool. And just the premise, it sounds like it's one of those games that could change each time you play it, right? It says every time you tell it. So does that mean I'm gonna have it like if I play through it a second time, it's a completely different experience? That would be cool, right?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And right off the bat, Returnal comes to mind. And I don't know if you're familiar with what Returnal is, but it's a PlayStation 5 exclusive traditional game that's set to launch later this month. Uh, like a week or two. This game launches, and I'm legitimately excited for Returnal. I haven't been excited for the launch of a flat game. I don't remember the last one. Uh,
Cyberpunk.
I mean, kinda. I'm more excited for this, honestly. This game looks so awesome. It looks like a Farpoint sequel, dude. It looks like a Farpoint sequel with next gen graphics and all of the nice shiny bells and whistles that come with next gen hardware. But beyond all that, the whole concept behind Returnal is you keep living the same day over and over again,
Mm.
only it's kind of a nightmare and it gets worse every time you wake up.
Ooh.
It's changed significantly for the worse. And I see these developers hinting at a similar mechanic here with that line. The past changes a little time every time we retell it, which really piques my interest. So many possibilities when you incorporate that sort of a gameplay loop. It really bodes well for not only having a unique experience through throughout your campaign, but big replayability. Even after you finish the campaign.
What was that movie with Tom Cruise where the day kept repeating? And he was on the alien planet or whatever. It was actually pretty good, man. If you haven't seen it, you should definitely check it out. But it was like he was like a high-ranking military person, and he instead of sending people in, they sent him in, and so he had to go in, and he somehow got some kind of alien thing that on him when he died, and so he kept reliving the day, and he was had to save the. It was really good, but the kind of what you're describing kind of describes. It sounds like that in premise wise, right? Like so, cool.
Yeah, and I think it was Lipnox says that they have confirmed PCVR support on their Discord, but they didn't say anything else about the game.
Okay.
They're being tight-lipped. So coming to PCVR,
Sure.
and it's interesting, Roots, because when I see Wanderer, when I see Runner, when I see Hubris and Rhythm of the Universe Ionia, I see games that are going to most likely be PlayStation VR 2 games. And it makes me wonder, uh, you know, are these devs going to go for a cross-platform release, or are we going to get these games earlier on PCVR and Quest? Uh, because we're still a year, 18 months, 2 years away from PlayStation VR 2.
Yeah, it's a good question. And it's gonna be a lot of these developers are there's hard decisions got to be made, right? It's like, what do we do? Which one do we want to wait? Do we want to hold off? There's obvious benefits to getting it out now, and there's obvious benefits if you can with the right game and the right timing. I mean, if the game isn't going to be dated, I would imagine you would love it to come out as an exclusive on PSVR 2. Amazing, top-notch graphics, next level, but that's the conundrum is like, are you in that time frame? Because a lot of these games have been developed for 2-3 years, and they need to get out now, or they start to become like just antiquated. Like, whoa, this would have been good last year. So that is a hard decision to make, I think, for the developers.
I found it interesting watching Brian's interview with the guy from Cyborn, the studio behind Hubris. Those guys were being quite coy. They were letting on like they're going to try to launch Hubris on PlayStation VR 1. Which I don't. Do you remember Hubris Roots? That we talked about it about a month ago, 6 weeks ago.
Sounds familiar. I don't remember what
Yeah, it's a
specifically.
very very high visual quality game, like a science fiction game. Um, but it looks like the best PC VR games today look. We'll just say that, and that Hubris, an aptly named game because they were. Uh, they aren't a small team. They're a mid-level team, 50, 60, 70 people working on the game. Or maybe you said 30 or 40. It's somewhere in there. It's not like three dudes. They have a legitimate team working on it. But they would not roll out PlayStation VR 1 support, but they did note that they had not yet begun the optimization work that comes with that. So I got to imagine once they start down that road, they're going to realize quickly the limitations of that OG PS4. It really is something you have to work at to be able to launch any VR game on it, let alone one like this.
Well, and then think about it too. You get to a point where, I mean, they're going to have to weigh how many copies do you think we're going to sell on PSVR 1? I mean, there's that discussion gets put out there too, right? Is it worth, if it's that much work, if they find out very quickly, it's like, well, shit, maybe we just hold off a little bit for just the two. I don't know. But I'm glad I'm not making those decisions, right?
Yeah, eye on the icon in chat says Vertical Robot, the Red Matter studio, needs to make more Quest games. You're absolutely right. Um, and Roots, I've been sitting on this 25% off code. I can't make my mind up what to buy with it, man. I've got a handful of games that I want, not many. Most of the games I want I have. But when I think about it, I want to check out Red Matter on Quest. But every time I get ready to pull the trigger on that one, it occurs to me that I could just play it with wireless with virtual desktop, and it'll be even more beautiful than the standalone Quest version is.
I
But then
can't do it.
there's
I can't go in. I can't buy a game. If I'm gonna like, if I somebody gave me a game to go in and check out and see the differences and look at it and see if it looks better or worse, that's different than me spending $25, $30 or whatever it is to go in there and literally say, "Oh, that does look really amazing," and then step out. If you were going to play the full game from beginning to end, maybe if you had several people you wanted to showcase it to people, like you're like, "Dude, Dad, I just got to show you this game. This is going to blow you away." Maybe. But other than that, I just don't see spending that kind of money again. For me, I've had the same conundrum. I get to the point where I'm like maybe on the fence, and then I'm like, I just can't do it. I can't pull the trigger, Wes.
well, here's the thing. And specifically in this case with Red Matter, I don't own it yet. Like I've got access to it
No,
in like shared catalogs and things, but I don't own it. I still need to buy it. Um, so it's a little bit different for me because I don't have it in my library
that
yet.
is true. Oh, and then I mean, really, there is almost no reason. I mean, if you want to own the game, if you think it's good enough to own, um, why not, right?
Yeah, but then there's other games. There's Mayor. I don't know if you remember that surreal environmental puzzler, almost a walking simulator, Mayor that came out about 2 months ago that I'm interested in. There's Vanishing Grace, another puzzle type game that I'm interested in. And then there's Warhammer Battle Sister. And then there's The Climb too. So that's pretty much my list on Quest of the games I want to play that I don't have. And I can't make my mind up which one I want to get. And then at the end of the day, there's always Arizona Sunshine, which I'd really like to have on Quest as well. So
Oh man, dude, you do have a conundrum. Well, if it was me, I would pick Arizona Sunshine because I know that you're gonna buy that eventually. I just don't want to. I just can't buy it. I'm not. The whole. I'm almost over going into a game and looking for differences and seeing if it looks better, that, this, or that. We're getting. It's getting to be so close, and it looks amazing. Like you said, I've seen Red Matter and an even better um version, and it's amazing that they made it look that good, but I've seen it look better. So that's my conundrum with Red Matter. I don't think I could buy it again. So for that reason.
Lipnock says I'm so tempted by Warhammer. Yeah, man, I almost pulled the trigger on Warhammer yesterday because it was the daily deal yesterday, and you could stack that coupon on top of it and make it like $21 or something like that.
Mm. Yeah, I haven't. I don't know. I don't know too much about the Warhammer game, how it was received. It was never really um, interested me, but it could be good.
It just got significant Quest 2 updates
Did
within
it?
the last month.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. How's it been received? Good or that my thing? I mean, not that that
Okay.
matters.
It was okay. It wasn't game of the year, but people liked it. So,
Okay, cool.
but I think a lot of the things that people didn't like with the initial release of it got patched out with this last big update. So,
Hibsy says, "Was that six titles roll of a dice?" Oh, I was like, "What does that mean?" But now I get it. So yeah, just or you could use that roll. You could do it right now, live time. You could 1 through 6. This is gets 1, 2. There's a lot of these. I if it was me, I would probably go Arizona Sunshine, knowing as much as you. I mean, you'll play through it again if you have it on Quest. You just will. Your family will. But then you're
well,
gonna
I'm
want
going
to
to
buy
play
two
through it again.
copies.
That's the thing is that I'm going to end up playing through it again regardless. This is a game that I always end up coming back to in co-op situations. But then again, you know, after the fall is going to come along at some point and dethrone it, you know?
Yeah, true.
So,
Okay, so Ian, the icon has a very good point. The Climb 2 is great. And so how great is it, Ian? Because that's the only one that's kind of I'm on the fence because I don't own it. It's new. I own the first one. The novelty of doing another climb game, but I think I would enjoy it as well. So I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence, Wes.
well, I'm going to blow your mind right now, Roots, and I'm going to settle it for you. If the code's even still good. I don't even know if the code's good anymore, but um, Dead and Buried 2, Roots.
Ooh,
You've said to me many times that you've been waiting on that one to go on sale, and it never has.
yeah, that's true. That's true. Actually, that
Here's your
looks pretty good.
chance.
Yeah, that's true.
Multiplayer, high quality Oculus Studios game,
How much is that? It's $20, so it will cost what, $15? 25% off.
$15.
It's not too bad. It's a
Yeah,
good deal.
yeah, yeah. My whole thing is too. You know, I go here. I go spending money on a game, um, and fully knowing that there's a possibility that within what 19 days we could have Resident Evil 4 dropping on Oculus Quest,
Right.
uh, because that was leaked during the big Capcom leak at the end of last year that we were getting Resident Evil 4 in VR, Oculus exclusive in April.
Hmm.
So,
Okay. So, do you buy that day one? I'm just kidding. Who doesn't buy that day one, right? I'm buying that
right.
right now. If I could. Ian says the Climb 2 is definitely capital letters better than the Climb 1. So, that's good. That's good to know, Ian, because I haven't really known exactly. Yeah, I was telling Wes privately. It's one of those things I'm on the fence because I haven't heard too much about it as far as raving wise, whether it was one you have to play type of thing. So
Yeah,
uh,
Drew Matt has a good point. He says just try it for an hour and a half and refund it.
and Anthony would turn in his oh, he's not dead. He does not believe in that whole thing, but yeah, that's true. I could refund it. I don't have a problem refunding stuff. I've had so many Quest 2 freshies that were loaners until I finally got the good one there. So
So here's my problem. It really doesn't matter what I buy, because what's going to end up happening is I'm going to buy this game. It's going to go into my library, and I'm just going to play Swarm, Crashland, In Death Unchained, and I have a fourth go to. I don't. It's not. It's escaping me at the moment, but I'm just going to end up playing the same four games anyway. So, oh, To the top is the one that I've been playing here lately.
that's
Um,
true. And those games are all amazing in their own right. They're all games that you intend to go in for 5, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, and then an hour and a half's gone by. And especially Crashland, dude, that thing. I was watching back my video and telling people how amazing it is, and then after the round, I was like, man, this is ridiculous, man. Like just to myself because it was so crazy, and but that's what's so fun about it. It's ridiculously hard at times, and when you finally get through, you're like, that was fucking ridiculous, dude. And then you're like, this is badass, bro. I love that game.
Yeah, so Onakazi says, to be clear, it's still the climb. It's improved, but it's the climb. Yeah, I think you guys have just about sold me on the climb too. I mean, if I'm going to buy a game and add it to my library, it should probably be the one that's,
New and relevant.
the big budget, highly polished release. Something that has a good probability of taking my breath away once or twice before I see the end of it. You
Yeah,
know?
and probably something we should be able to talk about. And Delirium Drew wants to know why the hell Anthony's against the refund policy. He's not against the refund policy. He just thinks that if you buy something just with the intent to refund it, you're gonna have karma issues. I'm not a big believer in karma per se, but um, taking advantage of situations probably might not be the best idea at some point. But I'll do it. If I'll play the game with the intention that if I don't like it, I'll return it. That's why it's there. And somebody confirmed, Wes. I think it's like 5 times a month you can do that stuff, dude. That is insane, man. You can
Yeah.
that is, I mean, that's very liberal, bro. Like if you can do it 5 times a month, you might as well. I mean, they're obviously set it up for a reason that way.
That's 10 hours of VR gameplay
For
per
free.
month
For free.
for free of the best, latest games. I mean, it's a better deal than Viport Infinity.
Yeah, well, and if you think about it, it's great because what other I've never before VR, well, I guess it's PC gaming really that started it, I think, Steam and that sort, but console gaming, dude, you buy a game, this is it, bro. Like there is no going back. Once you've opened the container or you've downloaded the digital thing, you got the game. There is no refund. At least in my growing up. So I was blown away when there's this whole policy where you can try it for 2 hours. um, and I also don't want to screw developers over as well. And that's my biggest thing. You know, if a game's good enough for me to play it, I'm not gonna return it. So
See, that's me. I've never been against the, refund policy. I have no problem with asking for a refund if I want one. It's just I've never wanted a refund. Like I've always enjoyed the games I bought, and I generally know what I'm buying before I buy it. I don't just buy games to try them. I generally know if I'm going to like something or not before I pay for it.
I'll refund something if I feel like it's not worth it. I'm a big believer that, hey, you put out a shitty product, I'm going to refund it. Ian, just trying to decide on Zombieland Hot Headshot Fever. From what we have heard from Gamertag and a lot of other people as well, that game is really good. Actually, the reviews tell the tale. The gameplay is really addictive, they say. That's a good one to give a shot to. Try it. It's only $20. If you don't like it, return it after an hour and a half.
There you go.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get this show back on the beaten path, and let's talk a little bit about Vertigo 2, Roots. Zalubo Productions shared some brand new Vertigo 2 footage this past week via Reddit. It's very obvious from this bit of gameplay that this game is going to be a noticeable jump in terms of production value, even from the remaster of Vertigo 1. While the lighting and the visuals in general are noticeably improved, what really sticks out to me is the audio. And as I read the rest of this, Roots, really quickly, how hard would it be for you to set up a scene on the fly of the trailer with audio?
Not hard at all. I mean, it's gonna take a second. I can't do it without going to that scene though. Actually, we should be able to. Yeah, I'll just turn the audio on for the trailer and we'll just.
Well, yeah. Well, you just got it muted, right? So we'll start after I read through the rest of this here. We'll just turn the audio on and watch it from the top.
Yep.
But I want people to really hear what I'm talking about here, because the sound effects give this clip some real immersive depth, and we can only imagine, with that being the case, what it's going to be like firsthand inside the headset. The level design and UI and display on the clip seem very familiar, and you can see why the developers' work often draws comparisons to games like Boneworks and Half-Life. The game originally scheduled for release in 2020, but delayed at the very end of December. No release date has been revealed as of yet, but from the looks of the footage, I wouldn't expect to be waiting on this one for very much longer. Roots, have you had a chance to catch the trailer yet?
Not the audio.
I'm sorry, but
no,
the footage with the audio.
Let's
go ahead and let's check this out, and then we'll talk about it a little bit on the other side.
All right.
Hey, it's Theris. How are you doing? Doesn't matter. Listen, I'm risking my ass talking to you here. There's something weird going on, okay?
That's insane, isn't it?
Yeah, dude, this thing is polished as hell, dude. I can't believe how good this thing sounds, man. Like just the sound the that you could hear like in the beginning, it sounded like you could hear bugs and stuff and just like all the sounds you would hear imagine hearing that exist in real life that aren't in just or just in background noise, right? Things that you don't even realize you're not hearing. It sounds really amazing, like everything about it. So
Yeah, it looks like a proper step up from even Vertigo Remastered, and not only in terms of production value, but like this seems like a lot more of a shooter than the first one. The first one, you know, as cool as it is, and it's a great game, it's almost kind of like I don't know, cartoony feeling. It has a more of a lighthearted feel to it, where this seems a bit more of a like a hardcore first person shooter with super uh, heavy sci-fi undertones.
you know, as I was watching, you know, this Vertigo one always gets compared to Boneworks, like you said, right? Has a Boneworks feel. I have a feeling after this game comes out, people are going to be talking about how Boneworks has a Vertigo 2 feel. This game looks way better than Boneworks to me. Now, of course, I don't know story wise. I mean, this one obviously will have a more of a story, and Boneworks is amazing in its own right, but I just like what they've done with everything that's came before it as far as the technology, right? And the type of game that Boneworks is. It does have an influence on this game, obviously, and it looks amazing. And do we have any closeness to their release date? I did notice when I was pulling up stuff for it, it was like the Steam page said 2020 still. Clearly, it's past 2020,
Yeah,
so.
I think that not only, you know, you could tell by looking at the game that it's in a very polished state as it is. I think that it's telling that the developer's starting to show footage of it now. And I think we literally could get this game any day, Roots. You remember when he released Vertigo Remastered, there was no build up, right? It was just he pulled the trigger on it, and yesterday it wasn't a thing, and today it is. And I think that we're going to get something similar here with this. I think that we're going to wake up one day and this thing's going to be on the store.
And do you play? You're gonna play it day one? I'm just kidding.
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely. And
Oh god, I want to
uh,
play it now, bro. Now.
I think I'm going to go play the demo. I never played that demo that came out like a year or two ago
Oh wow.
that displayed some of the early gameplay mechanics. But from the sounds of it, people say that it's this footage looked like it's a bit evolved even from that.
Yeah. No, it looks amazing. Phil Yarn says he broke down and he bought Beat Saber once again on Quest. He has it on PSVR and the Oculus store. So that's 3 times. Yikes. And Phil Yarn, I'm right with you, bro. I bought it because of the 360 mode. Yes, I can do virtual desktop on Beat Saber from Steam VR. But you know, and it's one of those games that it doesn't matter if I ever showcase my Quest 2 to anybody, what's gonna come out of their mouth, Wes? Oh, the Beat Saber game. So I have to have it, bro. It has to be on there. It's a must-have in my opinion, and it does suck to buy it a third time, Phil. I feel your conundrum, bro, but it's Beat Saber. So
He sounds like me with To the Top,
yeah,
like and Super Hot. To the Top and Super Hot, I own on like every platform, and we're almost there with Arizona Sunshine as well.
yeah.
So yeah, I get it totally. Phil Yorn says Red Matter in the G2 is epic. I guess you're talking about the standalone version. That's what people keep saying. That's why I keep thinking about picking it up. Is people say that it's exceptional on the Quest, and I want to know. I want to know firsthand, so I
No,
can
but he's
hear what
saying
they're
in the
talking about.
G2, so I'm imagining
Oh, the G2. I thought he was talking about the Quest 2.
and
Oh,
you do have access to that. You could do that in the
yeah, and I remember Red Matter, the PC version of Red Matter blew me away on, I think it was my Rift S I was in at the time because I super sampled it up to like 200% or something crazy like that. And it was just stunning. So yeah, good call, Phil. I might need to go check that out.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm definitely gonna be checking out this game day one. It looks like the gameplay, story, looks like everything is gonna be good. The story was funny from the demo that you're gonna be trying, and I enjoyed my gameplay of the first one. This one definitely looks a lot more polished. I like the action, the robots, everything looks good, right? It looks like it's very well put together, and like I said, I
Polished.
believe, yeah, very polished. I believe at some point down in the future, people are gonna be looking to this um company as one of the best, you know. So.
Yeah, this guy's a prodigy, man. Like literally, you look at something like this, and it's hard to fathom that this is pretty much two dudes, and maybe with a little bit of freelance help. But I mean, this is pretty much two dudes here.
That's crazy. Ian says he's going to. Oh, he just retracted it. Maybe he changed his mind. But he's going to pick up Red Matter on Quest. He'll let us know. Hopefully that's still a deal. Ian. Radio Runts in the house. What's up, bro?
What's up, friend? Just checking out some Vertigo too, man. It looks awesome. What do you think, Roots? When I look at something like this, I see, depending obviously on the campaign length, I see something that could legitimately charge $40. Now, I don't expect that, but if this is like a 8 to 10 hour campaign at this level of quality, I mean, this is a $40 game, right?
All day. I'd buy it for $40. My guess is I'd say $29.95 would be the sweet spot, but it could be even 24, but it easily could be $39.95, and we don't really have much of a basis to go by on what they would charge. I don't think they didn't charge much for Vertigo 1. They gave away the remastered because
They gave away the remaster to people who already
right,
had Vertigo.
right,
If you didn't have it, it was like 25 or $30.
right. So I think it'll be the same price as what they charged for the people for the remastered that didn't own it. So $25 to $30 sounds legit to me. But as good as this is, and like you said, if the length of the campaign is long enough, I don't see why $40 would be ridiculous or outside of the. It wouldn't. Let's put it this way: it's not going to stop me from buying it, and I can't imagine many people in our community would be like, $40 is too much, dude. They might groan a little bit, but they'll get over it, right?
Yeah.
I
I
haven't
wonder
been
if this guy's going to bring his games over to PSVR too.
That would be cool. I haven't been as psyched about gameplay or wanting to try something, probably for me since Half-Life Alyx, watching a trailer and not saying that, I know Half-Life Alyx had all the nostalgia and people were, I mean, that's why people geeked out. But for me, it was like, wow, this gameplay looks amazing. The sound, the lighting, everything. I'm having the same feelings about this game. And I'm not saying it's going to be better than Half-Life Alyx, but I know I think it's going to be way up there with it. So,
Yeah, yeah, it looks amazing. Lipnox VR Vertigo Remastered is on Viport Infinity. If anyone needs to play it, that's a good call, bro. That absolutely, the Vertigo Remastered is on Viport Infinity. So if you don't want to drop the 25 or $30, you don't have to.
oh, dude, Vibort Infinity. I was just talking to my stream last night about how good of a deal that is.
Eye on the Icon says, I'm waiting for Snowdrift. Yeah, I forgot about Snowdrift. They dropped that initial teaser for it, man, and they have been quiet since then.
Yeah, that's what we that's what happens, man. We hear about this 6 months to a year ago, and they got quiet, and then all of a sudden, boom! The VR is so different than we're used to the mainstream gaming world, right? Where you hear about these games for years out, and they're like, "Oh, it's coming. It's a year away still." VR just has a knack to just drop shit right in your lap. Oh, it just came out today. You never heard of it? And it's like, well, Crash Land, dude. Granted, it had been out for a long time on those other platforms. I never heard of it, and all of a sudden it comes out of nowhere, and it's phenomenal. So,
Onakazi asks, is the Sandbox DLC on Viport Infinity? No, it is on Viport. You can purchase the Sandbox DLC, but it's not included with Infinity. The base game you get with Infinity, the DLC you have to pay for it.
yeah, that makes sense. PD in the house. Wait, coming in. I guess that's pretty late there, huh, PD? In the UK.
Hey, thanks for stopping by, friend. Yeah, it's around 9:30 for them right now.
Yeah, It's getting late for him.
Space Denison, our friend Voidcat joining the chat. Hello, hello.
Yeah, I don't know if I can ever get over him changing his name. It's allowed. I just don't know whether I liked it. I'll get used to it.
You'll get used to it.
I'll get used to it.
Anyway, let's move on. As Vertigo 2 wasn't the only late 2020 release that saw a last minute delay. Solaris, Offworld Combat, the fast-paced VR shooter from Firewall 0 Hour developers First Contact Entertainment, saw a September release on the Oculus Quest and Rift platforms, with the PSVR release set to come shortly thereafter. However, the team would soon push the PSVR release into early 2021. Now, as Q1 begins to wind down, it seems as if the PSVR community's long wait is about to come to an end. This past week, Perp Games revealed that a physical version of the game will be made available in June. First Contact quickly followed up this announcement, stating that the digital version of the game will be able to purchase sometime in May. The PSVR version of Solaris will support the PlayStation Aim controller, as well as cross-platform play with Oculus users. Considering the limited number of quality titles that support the Aim controller, this Tron-like shooter may very well turn out to be a must-own on PlayStation VR. So here we have Roots, Solaris, a game that we had fairly high hopes for, and a game that got some mixed reviews when it launched onto Oculus Quest. I was a bit undecided on it at the time because I do want to play it, but when you tell me that it's coming with aim support, I'm kind of leaning toward maybe trying it out on PlayStation. And when I heard that a few of the things were half baked with it in terms of the multiplayer, matchmaking and a few of the options that should have been in it at launch weren't, I decided to wait. And now I'm happy that I did, because we're looking at a polished game, a high paced, action packed Tron-like shooter that supports the aim controller. And you tell me it's going to have crossplay, that I'm going to be able to take my aim controller and shoot Oculus players in the face with it. Now you've got me sold. So the game's been out for a half a year now, Roots, and in my opinion, the time has come, or it's quickly coming, that we finally need to jump in and check this one out.
Yeah, it'll definitely be cool. I mean, it's gonna reinvigorate the lobbies. I guess the lobbies have been a little bit dead recently. I don't know from what I've heard, but Onikazi says, did they ever add more than one map? Which I do not know. If anybody in the chat could confirm that, if you know. I know this is I believe is on Viveport Infinity, correct? Maybe I'm wrong. No, it is not. Okay, that's one of the few.
No,
that
Solaris is not on Infinity. This is an Oculus exclusive.
Blamcrotch wants to know if it works with gun stocks. I'm sure it'll work with gun stocks, but whether it's got a specific profile or not, that's a different story.
I would say that this is not a good candidate to use with a gun stock. The gunplay in this, while I think they may have patched it, it's intended to be one-handed. Even like the rifles and stuff, and I think they patched it so that you can hold them with two hands, because people were complaining because it was different than what they're used to. But they designed this. The idea behind it was that the game's so fast paced, they want people to just move with their left controller, and by relegating the left controller to just movement, it kind of makes the experience uniform across platforms. So people with touch controllers are basically going to have the same control scheme as someone who has an aim controller, and the gameplay is meant to be more balanced as a result. But I do think that they patched it so people can grab the gun with their offhand, but I'm not so sure knowing that that's not how the game was intended to be played, I'm not so sure that a gun stock would be a very good idea here.
Okay. Delirium Drew says Solaris is trashy, matchmaking woes, and almost nobody online is as bad as Space Junkies lobbies. And hopefully that will be solved, at least the lobbies problem with the PlayStation VR community, because I have no doubt they're going to jump on board. Whether they like it or not, that's to be seen. My problem, Wes, is the same problem I have every time I read anything about this or see this game or look into it at all. Every time I see it, I don't want Solaris coming to PlayStation VR. I want Firewall 0 Hour coming to PC VR and Quest. And I know that there's reasons why you think that that will never happen. And that sucks because that franchise has a huge following in Rainbow Six Siege, because it's so similar and it's what people want. And I guarantee it would blow up on PC VR and Quest like Population One has. And it's just I don't necessarily see that this is going to solve their problems coming out on PlayStation VR. I'm hoping it does. I just don't necessarily think it will. So
Yeah.
which sucks.
I don't think that we're ever going to see Firewall come to PCVR. That game's so centric around the aim controller. It's not like Solaris, where they developed the game with multiple controllers in mind. Firewall was made to be a PlayStation exclusive. So I don't think we'll ever see it come to PC, which is unfortunate because, in my opinion, it's probably the best multiplayer shooter that I've played in VR. I've had more fun in Firewall uh, than any Contractors or Zero Caliber or Pavlov or any of them.
It would make me
Firewall
say
has been the best.
it would make Roots say Population what? Because it's got so much more strategy. It's Rainbow Six Siege is a really amazing game. I love it flat, and so the thought of being able to play competitively in a VR version, it sounds awesome to me. And it sucks for those reasons why it probably will never come to PC VR. I'm really hoping that this does reinvigorate the game and it fixes the issues, because right now, that like you said, Drew said, the lobbies are dead. I just don't know that it's going to. I don't know that the gameplay is that fun, but I mean, I haven't tried it, so I'm only going by what I'm looking at and what I try to explain to Scion. That does not equal the game. If I'm gonna have fun, I'm gonna have fun, regardless of how it may look. It may be an amazing multiplayer. So we'll see.
Yeah, well, it's certainly going to get a pop when it comes to PlayStation VR. And somebody was saying that they think it's a mistake releasing so soon to Alvo. I don't think so, man. Not only is it a different gameplay style, but there's a big difference in price between the two. Yeah, I don't think that that's necessarily a problem. Again, Firewall has a huge following on PlayStation VR, and if half of those players come over and play Solaris, then it's going to have an active lobby.
Yeah.
So I'm not necessarily concerned about that. But I think it's time, man. For those who were asking a moment ago, there's 6 maps, 8 weapons for this game. So yeah, it's not just one map.
Okay, so there's 6 maps. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they know what they're doing. It's a good developer. So hopefully this will help it, and it'll turn out to be an amazing game. More people will play. I would imagine the biggest thing that's holding it back right now is the lobbies. So if they can at least solve that problem for a short time with all the PSVR people, it'll give people a chance to try it, see if they like it, and if they like it, then they'll it'll do well. So.
Yeah, well, I want to check it out. I want to see for myself, but because again, the game has been updated significantly, and we need more good aim controller titles. I love my aim controller, and this is another game that's made with the aim controller in mind. So I'm going to check it out. If it's bad, we'll tell you. If it's good, we'll tell you.
Lipnox wants to know what Alvo's release price point is going to be. Do you know what that is, or?
Well, I was going to get into it later in the show, but since they brought it up, we might as well just go ahead and talk about it now. Alvo is launching on hold on, let me bring it up. April the 13th on PlayStation VR for $40. Um, 30 if you buy it during the launch window with the PlayStation Plus membership, you get a 25% discount. You get it for $30. But the game looks good, man. I mean, Alvo, it it looks like it's been in development since 2017 because it has been in development since 2017, and it looks very polished. And don't let the visual aesthetic fool you. I mean, if you look at it right offhand, you'd think that it's another Pavlov or Contractors. This game, the gameplay is much more fast paced than those two are. This game's all about the running. It's about the jumping. It's about the sliding. You can slide in this game, Roots. Um, this game is not the slow type of deliberate gameplay that you find in a traditional FPS. My only issue with it, having not played it, my only issue with it that I'm questioning is that price tag.
Yeah, well, and this is the thing. This is something I was thinking. I think a lot actually, and I don't know that I've ever vocalized it, or if I have, it's been very minimal. But I see all these shooter games like Contractors or whatever, and they're all amazing, but they're missing one big thing, or at least the ones that want to be like Call of Duty, right? There's no kill streaks, dude. There's no. I can't call in the canines. I can't call in the drones. I can't call in the strikes from the sky. Like all those are the things that in Call of Duty are so chaotic, right? And you are fun as you're watching your canine run around and kill people, right? Well, clearly it seems like they've incorporated that into this game. And so again, it's one more thing that these developers are that now that everybody's figured out all the other stuff, they're bringing in all these extra bells and whistles into these games. And this is going to be something new. This is something different, even more than Rainbow Six Siege that they don't, or Firewall 0 Hour that they don't have the kill streaks, bro. I don't know how they're going to be incorporated in this game, but to me that excites me to see that kind of detail or gameplay in a shooter. So
Yeah, and unlike Firewall, this game is already confirmed to be coming to the Oculus platform, and it's not going to take forever either. That sometime within the next year, this is going to be a cross-platform multiplayer shooter.
yeah, and this would be a perfect example where even with Contractors, right, you get somebody that's really amazing, and they recreate Terminal or they recreate Nuketown to the T, and it looks phenomenal. This game potentially could be 10 times better because of the gameplay. The environment is awesome when you have an amazing map and it brings back the nostalgia. That's amazing. But if I can call down kill streaks, and I can do all the things, I've got all built in domination, all the different modes that I'm always screaming about. It doesn't need to be team deathmatch. I shouldn't have to get a mod to play domination. The number one, capture the flag. These are things staples for these kind of games, bro. You know what I mean? They have to be in there. So hopefully, this has all of them.
Yeah, hopefully so. Only time will tell. I did not. A lot of people played the beta for this game. I did not. But I'm sure we're going to get our hands on it at some point, and we will report on it at that time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So let me scroll back up here and wrap up Solaris. So yeah, coming out. We don't have a release date for it quite yet, but we do know that it's coming in May. So within a month, we should be grabbing our aim controllers once again and checking this one out.
Sweet.
All right, and that's going to bring us to our next title. This one just kind of fell into our laps from out of nowhere, Roots. Against. At the end of March, Stride developer Joyway released a brief GIF showcasing a new rhythm action game it was working on. No other details were released at the time, but the visual style and gameplay certainly caught people's attention. Now, the studio has made an official announcement releasing a full trailer for its upcoming title, Against. Against is set in the shadowy streets of 1930s New York City, where players battle against the mafia and dark forces. Against promises a varied gameplay mechanic employing guns, swords, and even knuckle dusters to help you dispatch foes. At first, the game seems to take place strictly on a rail, like other games from the genre. However, there are moments where you can parry bullets with a katana, jump on the higher ledges, and even wall run while shooting enemies, providing much needed variety to the gameplay. The plan is to include up to 10 music tracks for the launch, with 3 difficulty levels and an epic final boss battle. Currently, the title is targeting a Q3 release on Steam with support for Rift 5 and Index. Support for more hardware and other platforms could be announced at a later date. So, Roots, this is from the developers of Stride. They haven't even fully finished getting that one out. They haven't even got that one in the full release, and we're already seeing what the next thing is from them. And I, for one, think that this looks outstanding. You've often heard me when we've had these discussions about Audica, about Pistol Whip. You've heard me describe my vision for the perfect rhythm shooter game, a game which has you not only shooting on beat, but defending on beat, a game which has varied weapons and boss fights, a game which has a story driven campaign to it. Pistol Whip 2089 was the closest thing that we've ever experienced to my vision of the perfect rhythm shooter. But judging by this gameplay, it looks like Against may be very soon taking up that crown.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, man. It just looks really good to me, man. I Stride, I wasn't that excited for. I never parkour jumping on buildings. Seemed cool, but this actually, I really want to play this game. It looks really unique, different. It's got spiders, so radio runs in there right off the bat. And I just think it looks unique, man. It's again another game that's thinking outside the box. Rhythm game. What did they say? It's Beat Saber met a nightmare or something about a nightmare with Beat Saber, right? Beat Saber meets Nightmare.
It looks more like Pistol Whip to me, the way the gameplay works, but so much more varied the gameplay than Pistol Whip. I mean, you're going to be running while you're shooting enemies. It looks like they took the best things about Stride and put in this game as well.
Yeah, yeah, no, it looks really phenomenal. And what's cool about it is you're not stuck to one thing, right? Like with Pistol Whip, no matter what you say about 2089 or any of it, it's shooting a gun, one gun, and you can modify to 2 guns. This, you're shooting guns, you're slicing people, you're doing all sorts of shit, right? And it's got bosses in it. I think it's really amazing. It looks cool.
Yeah, man, and it's funny how the promotion for this thing has went because I don't really think that they were planning on like announcing it this soon because they just released a GIF of it last week, and I saw that, and it was just like, hey, look, Joyway's working on a rhythm game, a dark rhythm game, and it looked cool, but it was so well received that they ended up releasing this trailer for it, and then before you know it, our friend Gamertag has his hands on the actual game, streaming it on his channel. So this thing's not even going to launch for at least 6 more months, and Gamertag already has a gameplay up for it.
That's crazy, right? It looks good too, right?
Yeah, it does. It looks amazing. It looks, again, much closer to what I want from a rhythm shooter.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it looks like there's gonna not only a reason to, like with Pistol Whip, where you kind of have to force yourself to go to the rhythm. Maybe this one is a little bit easier to go with the rhythm as you're going, right? It's just got enough variation that's gonna keep you guessing, right? So looks cool.
It looks like it will make you feel the beat to the rhythm of the night and keep you dancing to the morning light.
What song do you think is gonna be playing in there?
Feel the beat of the rhythm of the
Oh
night.
yeah, there you go.
Dance into the morning light.
That would be nice. That'd be the best one, right?
Not really.
No.
But in the chat, Space Dennison talking about Alvo says, I'll just say it, $40 is whack. Yeah, man. Yeah, thanks for saying it for me. But I haven't played it yet, so I'm not going to crucify it on that. Maybe it's a $40 game, man.
Well, that's the
I don't
thing
know.
is we're so used to everything being cheaper, but at some point, if a game's is really good gameplay wise, it's gonna be worth $40. $40. We have to remember, flat games are going up to 70. So, 40 is starting to sound not too bad, you know?
I'm gonna cause it El DeBarge for the win. Yes, sir, absolutely. Lipnock says, I want this against game so bad. A Vive Infinity free demo would be super awesome if the devs are listening. Yeah, that would be a cool way.
Just the first level.
Yeah, or do a demo level. Apparently, I mean, from the looks of this, I mean, I don't see there being a whole lot of variance in the levels. I think it's going to kind of have pistol whip syndrome as far as that goes. So they could probably throw a demo level together pretty quickly.
Yeah. Cool.
But yeah, I just wanted to mention it because, Joyway, like a lot of these smaller studios, we detailed it at the top of the show. They're getting better, right? Like they had the Change Ranger game, which became Stride, which becomes Against, and you can see a clear progression as you go and clear improvement title to title to title. And they're like Sin Studios, where they have all these games out. Like their development cycle is not very long, but they're making huge leaps in quality from title to title. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to checking this one out. Even more so, already even more so than the story mode with Stride.
Yeah. No, I just think it looks really cool.
Yep. So again, Q3 2021. Be on the lookout for this one. I'm sure we'll have a lot more info on this one as the launch approaches.
Cool.
All right, that's going to wrap the news and bring us into our weekly reminders. And we're going to start off with what's out this week. And we do have a couple of games out this week. We already mentioned Alvo coming out from Martinpole Incorporated, coming out on the 13th of April for $40. PlayStation VR exclusive at launch to coming soon to Oculus shortly thereafter. So yeah, we kind of already tackled Alvo and what it is. The question is going to be, man, can they get enough people in the lobby at that high price point, even if the game's worth it? I do happen to know that they gave out a lot of beta keys to this game over the years. So if they're bringing all of those players along free of charge, and I don't know that they are, but if they are, that could be a pretty big boost to the lobbies right off the top.
Yeah, and these type of games, man, they're like I said, there's not anything like it. So hopefully, if with the kill streaks, hopefully it'll be a completely different thing, and it'll be amazing.
Yeah, Limpnox VR says, speaking of Sin Studio, Swordsman Pirates update. Yeah, I noticed that. Sin Studio has this Swordsman game out, which is on Viport Infinity, by the way, if anybody wants to try it. But it's kind of a Blade and Sorcery style game. But it's not so tech demo-y. It's more of a game with bosses and such. But they're getting ready to have this big update where they're adding pirate battles.
Oh wow!
To the thing, so it's not just like medieval sword fighting; it's also pirate ship sword fighting as well, and dismemberment. Good call, Hibbsy, and dismemberment.
Who doesn't want to dismember somebody? But society frowns upon it, Wes. So the only way I can do it is in VR.
Onikazi says, "How is the swordsman? Always struck me as a blade and sorcery wannabe, but it looks like they've been adding to it a lot. They have, and I've got to tell you, man, people have received this game well. People who have played it like it, which, I mean, to be quite honest, was a bit surprising to me because, as I mentioned, Sin Studios, their stuff before this didn't review very well. Like people really didn't care for their games before this one, and now all of a sudden they've gone from a mediocre developer to a good independent developer making a good game. So kudos to them. Way to stick with it, and way to release a game that people like.
Lipnock says they added it Saturday, and it's amazing.
Yeah, and Hibsy also says it's a fun game. So yeah, I haven't tried it yet, but it's always there on Vive for it to us when we want to jump into it. Melee games have never really quite been my thing. I like Melee, but I like my Melee to be a part of an adventure game. I don't like my Melee to be like a Melee game. Now there are exceptions, of course. Unto the Fall was fun. Gorn was fun. So maybe I would enjoy this one as well. Who knows?
Oh, nice. Lipnock says he's not sure if the Vive Infinity's got the update yet, but he was running around shooting zombies, battling Kraken on a ship, and there's brutal violence. So it sounds cool. You had me
like
at
brutal
battling
violence.
Kraken on a ship. Sounds cool.
Yeah, it's better than smoking Kraken.
Yeah, dude, don't want to smoke no Kraken, bro. That'll destroy your life.
You know who else likes to smoke and Kraken?
Oh, yeah, he sure does.
Also out this week, Carly and the Reaper Man from Odd Raven Studios coming out on the 15th on Oculus Quest for $20. Now, Roots, I am interested in this because this is a solid game, but it is a multiplayer game. This is a multiplayer game, and I am just confused how they've managed to work this one out for Oculus Quest.
Well, hopefully they made it like it should have been to begin with, where I can just log in with a friend. One person can do one thing and one person can do another. I don't understand why it's so difficult. Like any other game, you log in and you got two people doing two different things, right? Like it's just going to require an actual server, you know? It's weird, bro. Cause that was my biggest thing. And I've said this before, like I don't have somebody sitting around that I can do the other thing with. Most people are in that point. You got your kids would probably love to do it with you, but most people that, your kids are grown, you're gonna be hard pressed to play this with other people. And at that point, it becomes not as good because they did have the mode where you can play by yourself, right? But that's a little difficult. And I don't know.
Yeah, Mepper says 2 players, both in Quest headsets. So there you have it, Roots. Finally, the game getting the type of treatment that it should have had all along, right?
Yeah, that's what baffled me. This is what my biggest problem with all of these different games. When you tell me that Acron or whatever it is, you tell me that I have to locally be connected to somebody. And I guess maybe Akron wasn't a good example on that. I think you could log in from other people, but the ones that you had to do local, it's very difficult. It doesn't make it as user friendly as it needs to be, So
Well, there you have it, man. Both players are in VR for this one. Like before, the earlier versions of this game, one player had to play on a TV while the other played in VR. Now this is not the case. Now both players can be in VR, and I gotta say, Roots, if that's the case,
might have to pick
I want
it
to
up.
check this out. Yeah, I want to check this one out. This is definitely the type of game that I could get into with my kids. I wonder if it's cross-platform. I wonder if a Rift player can play with a Quest player.
Oh, that's gonna be tough, bro. Because I don't know why. It would be cool because then that means the two Rift players should be able to play together, right? Theoretically. Maybe they opened it up to where everybody could play together. Otherwise, I would imagine it's still going to stay the same, and it would have to keep them separate. So I don't know.
Delirium Drew says, "Why did the commercial feature a person without a headset on participating?" Because that's what this game was, Drew. It's what this game has always been. This game has always been one player flat, one player VR until now. So this is going to be the first time that it's ever had both players in VR.
Every time I see this commercial, I can't help that girl needs to wipe her headset off. It's got like crumbs and stuff on the outside. Always bugs me. But Yeah, so I think that's really cool, man, that you can actually play two people in the headset. That does it intrigues me as well, and it probably guarantees that I'll pick this game up. Otherwise, I wouldn't have had any interest in playing it through it again. I've played it enough, um, the flat version, but I've never played it two people in VR, and that would probably guarantee that I actually finish it, right? Um,
Yeah.
so
And I think we did have some interaction with this developer back when we reviewed the PC version of the game. So I might just try to contact them and see if we can review the Quest version.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it sounds good. I see a future money show if we can have our lives meet up together somehow.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
It's always
yeah.
something,
Well,
right?
it is always something, and we got a lot going on this week too. So we're gonna have to just make it happen. Bite down on the bullet and make it happen.
Yeah.
Which I had company this past week, so I had well, never mind. I was going to say I had Easter last week and then a birthday, but I got a birthday coming up this week. It's my daughter's birthday,
Oh
so
God.
more stuff to do. So we'll just
Uh,
have to see how it goes
yeah. Well, that's it. It always works out in the end, right?
in the rear end.
Yeah. Yeah. Really. Gamer Chick says she
uh,
wonders how successful Akron has actually been, and I'm kind of the same way. It's one of those. It sounds good in theory. It's a great party game, right? But then you're trying to incorporate people in VR with non VR people, and um, I would have loved to be VR and been the squirrel, not just the tree, right? And that was kind of so. I kind of wish that they could have put it to where you could have done both in VR as well.
yeah, I agree. Um, But yeah, I'm super excited. This is I love platformers in VR, and this is a super polished one with unique gameplay mechanics. So
Was there a
yeah,
story to this? A good story to it? I can't remember.
well, I mean, my experience with it has been basically from your guys' experience of it. I've
Okay.
never played this game
What?
because of that. I've never played it, so I've
Wow.
always been interested in it. But the one player out of VR aspect has always kept me out of the game. So
This is the closest VR game to that game that Mash and I played where you escape from prison, or the new one that It Takes Two, where it's like legit you need two people to play this game, right? Like in VR, this takes coordination, and that's where the fun and frustration gets. And this would be a potential fight starter between a couple if you don't have a solid relationship, because like you have to be on point, dude, and like you're gonna die if the person isn't putting that platform in the right place at the right time. You're gonna die, and then you're gonna get pissed, and then you're gonna bicker and fight, and then you're gonna get divorced. Hopefully not. But yeah, it's definitely looks fun, man. I can't wait to play it.
yeah, me too. I agree. I concur, sir, 100%. Um, see, I had a chat. I had a comment singled out, and then I lost it here. Oh yeah, Meow Meow the Gamer Cat. We were talking about the good melee titles, and we forgot Ninja Legends.
Ooh, that's right, dude. And I still never got to use my Wolverine claws, bro. That's one of those
Yeah,
games
we
where they're coming at you from all directions, and I don't know if I've ever played the Quest 2 version to see if it had more stuff coming at you from different directions. I can't
well,
remember.
here's the cool thing about it now, Roots, is we've got, that's another 5-port Infinity title, and we've got virtual desktop now, so we can play it wirelessly from the PC now.
Well, it's true, but okay, so would it be the same game? I mean, it's obviously going to be the same game, but I mean, as far as like, did Ninja Legends take more liberty on their version, the Quest version for 360 stuff coming at you? As long as
I
it's
wouldn't think so because I remember playing that thing on PC, and it was pretty much 360 to begin with.
okay, yeah, it was cool.
Don't you remember that the guys were coming up behind you? You're like, it wasn't a full 360, but it was a legit 270.
Yeah, yeah, that's what about I would figure it was 270. There was a portion you could feel like you didn't have them coming from behind, but it was definitely very chaotic from multiple directions. So
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll have to check into that, but yeah, I would imagine that the gameplay is pretty uniform
Yeah.
across both versions.
True.
All right, that's going to bring us into our next segment, our next reminder. And this is the part of the show where we like to ask all of you to join us as we do our part to support these awesome developers by wishlisting a game. We're going to go right now in real time to our preferred storefront and click the little heart on whatever it is that really struck us as awesome this week. And it's hard to pick, right? We had so many good games we talked about this week.
Yeah, dude. Actually, pretty much all of them as far as the ones that I didn't have. I know Runner, Wanderer, Vertigo 2 I already had done. Solaris, I need to get back into. Actually, Against, I actually wish listed those all earlier.
So you went ahead and just did it anyway, huh?
Yeah, as I was pulling up, I had trouble, Wes. I'm not gonna lie, dude. I had some trouble today finding a couple of picks for some of the games, and again, I baffled myself of why there's not high res picks out there for some of these games. But some of them just dropped. But so that resorts me going to Steam, and I mean I have to go to great lengths to try to find this picture. And then there was other ones like I went to the thing and it was like, hey, do you want the press kit? Like, yeah, I want a press kit. That's amazing. Like, who would have thought to put a press kit out when you got a game coming out? That's my pet peeve, Wes.
You know what my pet peeve is?
What's that?
Is that I tried to buy this Curse of Dreadbear DLC this week because
Your kids.
you know I've got Five Nights at Freddy's VR for the from Viport Infinity, and I also have a shared copy on Steam, but Steam will not let me buy it because I haven't purchased it from them on their store. Even though it's their version, it's the Steam version that I can play. It will not let you buy the DLC unless you own the license to the game through Steam.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yes.
So even though I can I have it installed and I can go play it on Steam whenever I want to, I can't buy any DLC for it.
Wouldn't that be weird? I mean, to me, is like, why not just let somebody buy the DLC, and if the family share gets pulled, you just don't have access to it anymore, bro. You know, I mean, why not just let people pay for it?
Now there's also, I mean, I could try buying it as a gift. Like, what if I bought it as a gift for myself from a different account? I wonder if it would let me have it then. Probably not.
No. I didn't even know that there was much difference. I need to get back to that game, bro. You kids really like it, right?
Yeah, they're the ones that really wanted that DLC, and I don't see that DLC being worth the $40 just to play the DLC. You know.
Yeah. Depends on how much your kids like the game. You know.
Yeah, well, I mean, they can play the game. The DLC is just basically mini games and stuff.
Oh, I gotcha.
Yeah, I'm not paying $40 for that. No way, bro. No way. I'm just what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk to my 5-port guy and see if I can get them to carry the DLC, because if they did that, it would just solve all my problems.
Yeah, dude, we got the VIP, bro.
That's right. All right, so I don't see a Steam page yet for Runner. So
Ice Fogel says PD has a video of everything, and then Paradise Decay said it's not true. He skipped Gorilla Tag. Dude, PD, you missed it, bro. Gorilla Tag is hands down the best free content I've never tried. From what people say, they say it's amazing. I don't know. It's a TV breaker. That's all I know about it.
I think they just added a new map
for Gorilla Tag.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, unless I'm mistaken.
Yeah, it looks chaos, man. It looks like chaos.
Chaos.
Yeah. I wonder if you could do a Vortex version of... No, I actually don't need to. It's already in VR.
So I type in against, and it pops up in the search drop down the suggested search terms, and I click on the game and it does nothing.
I could have sworn I'm not sure which one. I know I thought it was against. It was one of those, against or Runner or something I was able to find. And do.
Well, I'll tell you what, you know, who out of all the titles we covered today. I think the winner in terms of making an impression on me was probably Vertigo 2. Now I might have it already wish listed, but if I don't, I'm about to.
Onikazi says we are correct on the new map. There is one out there. And Lipnox VR says his friend did a Gorilla Tag video, Wes, and it got 9,000 views already. That's how hungry people are for Gorilla Tag.
I think I know what Roots is going to be streaming tonight.
Oh man, we gotta all get in there now. Oh nice. Okay,
Oh, yeah.
so Phil Yarn is telling me that he got his No Man's Sky working on his new 3080 and with the G2, and it is on Spiring West. You need to get in there and check it out, bro.
So, have you had these similar issues with the G2 and the 3080 where Steam VR likes to crash? I mean, I've made some progress with it so that it's not happening as often as it used to, but it still happens more often than I would like for it to happen. And I know reading on Reddit, I'm not the only person that's having this problem with running a 3080 with the G2. So I'll be curious, Phil, to know if you're having these issues. I mean, you can always downsample your way out of it. Like if you want to run it 50% in Steam VR, then it'll run fine. But I'm just not willing to do that.
Wes didn't buy it to downsample. It's kind of
Right.
That's a good point, bro.
So yeah, I mean, things look amazing in it, and like especially like the revive stuff I've played. Like I don't think I've ever had anything crash in revive on it, and that's weird because it uses Steam VR.
Phil says yes.
Absolutely.
It blue screen's too much.
See, there you go. Same thing. This is a known issue, and I think that it's like an NVIDIA issue, like with their drivers, and
Right.
it's annoying. And hopefully they'll get to the bottom of it, because I really like my G2. It's a great experience when it works right, and it works more than it don't. It's just I have limited time, and I don't have time to grab something that I don't know if it's going to work or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's much better these days, he says, and I would say you'd be better off selling it and getting a doubling your money and getting a yaw. Wes, you'd be yawing it up, bro.
Yeah, I don't think I could sell it for what I've got in it though, and I'm not willing to take a loss on it because I do like it. I do enjoy my time with my G2. I would sell it probably if I could break even on it, but I don't think I could at this point because they're not back ordered anymore.
Give it time. Wait some time, and you may just be able to sell it for more than what you paid for it, depending on how things go in the future.
That's true. Well, we'll see. But right now, I'm going to sit on it because what he said is true. It is much better than it was before. I am running it at 100% now. Where used to, I would run it on like 70. I am running on 100% now,
Nice.
and it works 4 out of 5 times. It'll work. It's just that 1 out of 5 that it crashes really gets on my nerves.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Okay, so be sure to let us know what you wish listed. I went with Vertigo 2. I did not have it wish listed, but I do now.
Yeah, see, Lipnock says he put against on his wish list. I did as well.
Yeah, it wouldn't come up for me. Like I could see it in the thumbnail and everything came up when I typed the search query in, but it didn't. When I clicked on it, nothing happened.
That's a
So
good point. Lipnock says sign it, Wes, and we'll write on there. You know who else watches Virtual Strangers, and then we'll sign it, and then your headset will be worth way more than what you paid.
yeah, that's just what people want. They want me to write on my headset.
Right on the lens, bro. That sounds like a good idea.
No, well, here's the thing with the G2, and when I consider selling it or keeping it. First of all, like I said, it's not a frequent thing that it crashes. It's just more frequent than I would like it to be. And again, they're not back ordered anymore. You can order one regularly now and get a brand new one under warranty. So that means if I wanted to sell it, I'd be selling it at a loss. I could probably sell it for $500, eat the 100, and have money in my pocket. But here's the thing: I'm not willing to go down to just having one PCVR headset. We play multiplayer here. I would immediately take that $500 and spend 300 of it on a Quest.
Hmm.
And then, so what am I doing? I'm going to sell my G2 so that I can have $200 in my pocket. Nah, man, I'll just keep it, because we do use it.
Yeah. Oh, sounds good. Yeah, from Wes with love.
All right. So, right. So that brings us to our next reminder, everyone's favorite, free stuff and killer deals. And we're going to kick it off as we always do by giving you your weekly PlayStation Plus reminder. It's a new month, Roots. It's April, and the PlayStation Plus games have changed this month, just as awesome as last month, as they are giving away Days Gone for PlayStation 4, which was a fairly high profile PS4 exclusive last year. Zombie Army 4 Dead War, which is a game that has like the most awesome cover of any game I've ever seen. It always catches my eye. The only reason I know what this game is because I've seen that cover so many times and been like, oh, that looks cool. And then get this, Roots, Oddworld Soulstorm for PlayStation 5. This game just released, and this is a big deal. Oddworld is a franchise that people have loved for many years. This is the latest installment. It just launched, and on day one, they're giving it away on PlayStation Plus for PlayStation 5. It's a $50 game if you were to go buy it. But if you have PlayStation Plus, it's absolutely free.
That's crazy. Sony's pretty much giving you no reason to not get PlayStation Plus anymore. Like, you remember back in the day, you kind of had to justify it. It was a big thing. It's like, I can't play multiplayer without it, so I have to get it. Now you want to get it because they're giving, especially with the PlayStation 5 owners, they're giving away these new games as they drop, and they're good games, right? Now let me ask you this, Wes: are you going to play through Oddworld? Is it like on your list of games to check out, or I mean, you own it?
Installed.
Yeah,
it's installed.
Installed and ready to go. And I'll tell you what, especially on a good system with an amazing TV, HDR, 4K, there is a place for just chilling and hanging out in front of and vegging out in front of a TV with a console game, right? And just playing for a little bit. You want to do something, but you're not really wanting to commit to VR. As long as you got the right platform and the right games, it can be amazing.
Yep. And Lipnock says Zombie Army is really awesome. It looked cool, man. It really did. I've really my only experience or knowledge of it previously was from seeing that awesome cover in like GameStop and other places. But I did check out a little gameplay when I added it to my library, and it did look cool. I agree.
Apparently, Lee VR says PS Plus has nothing on Game Pass. I don't know. Does Game Pass give a lot of games away, like to own? Or I know Game Pass has games that you can download and play, but I don't know too much about it. I know Game Pass is a little bit different, though. It's designed to have a whole bunch of games you can play versus where PlayStation Plus is more designed to give you free games or give you discounts on games throughout the year, right? And then multiplayer.
Yeah, Game Pass is awesome, but it is kind of a different thing. Like Game Pass is kind of the cornerstone of the Xbox platform. It's what everything is geared around. Those consoles, everything on their entire platform is designed to get people to buy in the Game Pass, which is how it's their model for distributing games. It's a subscription-based service, and you get to play everything. So it's like you don't own anything, but you get to play everything.
Like Onakazi says, more like Netflix. Same thing with I guess I got the EA Pass or whatever on Steam for like $5 a month, but I'm able to play a bunch of different games, Left 4 Dead and all sorts of games, right? It's a cheap price and it's a good way to try games out. So
Yeah, and Xbox, they put everything on there, man. Like day and day, it's on there on launch day, available to play on Game Pass. If I had an Xbox, I would 100% have Game Pass, and
well,
if I was a flat gamer, I would probably have one.
that's what I was gonna say. Well, even if you didn't want to have an Xbox, we've said it before, like you can use the Game Pass for PC as well. And so you like there's really no reason to own the console. You don't have to own it. You can play everything that's on there on PC, as far as I know. So
There is some stuff on there, so I probably will sample the Game Pass. You can get Game Pass on PC, and there's a few VR games on it. Not many, but there are a few. One of them being Microsoft Flight Sim, which I will end up diving into at some point.
I own that, but Lee VR says you get EA Play with Game Pass. What? I've been
Yep, it's
wasting my
included.
money on EA Pass. I could have gotten the Game Pass and got it all, bro. But they up their money to $10, right? $10
Yeah,
a month.
yeah. Screw those guys, right?
Yeah, rip off. That's good.
But no, I did install Oddworld Soulstorm. I think I'm going to find time to get a little time in there. But I do have Demon Souls in the mail
Ooh,
on its way to me from GameFly, which I'm definitely going to check out. And then, like I said at the top of the show, Returnal is going to launch in a couple of weeks, and I'm legitimately excited for that one. Like
nice.
I'm going to play that game. There's no question.
Yeah,
And
I want to
I'll
play the Harry
probably
Potter
make
game.
videos of Returnal when the time comes.
Yeah, so that's cool. That's exciting, bro.
Yep. Anyway, that's PlayStation Plus, Days Gone, Zombie War 4, Oddworld Soulstorm, all included with Plus, and in April. So be sure to check it out.
Yeah, I guess Game Pass has Tetris Effect. It says it's cool as F. Phil Yarn says.
Yeah, they've got Tetris Effect Connected, which is the multiplayer version, the new version of it that we don't have and we don't get until later this year sometime.
Oh wow, I guess it's $15 a month. Lee VR says not even 10. It's gone up 15. Expensive, bro.
Yeah. Every time I see Lee VR, I think of that Tenacious D song. I have a friend named Lee, and we're as free as we could be. Lee,
uh,
Lee, 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 Lee. I'm talking fucking Lee.
I don't think I've heard that song.
You ever heard Lee?
Mm-mm.
Play at Home initiative still going on the PlayStation platform. 9 free games available, 5 of which support VR, and just so happen to be 5 of the best games we've ever seen in VR. Abzu, The Witness, Enter the Gungeon, Subnautica, Res Infinite, Paper Beast, Thumper, Moss, and Astrobot Rescue Mission, all 100% free to anyone who owns a PlayStation. You should definitely check this out if you haven't already.
Yeah, you should own them by now. If you don't have a PlayStation, if you have a PlayStation already, you should own those games because they're free and we're running out of time, Wes.
Yeah. And they're getting ready to add Horizon to it this week. Horizon Zero Dawn
See, I want to
gets
play
added.
that in VR, bro. They better be bringing that to VR.
Well, I think that's highly likely.
Yeah, dude, I think people don't realize how close we are to just AAA after AAA after AAA. We'll be bathing in AAAs, bro.
Yeah, dude, we're 3 months into 2021, and PlayStation VR has already given us all 3 Hitman games in VR and Doom 3.
Yeah, yeah, and it's just barely starting. So yeah, I think we're up for an exciting year. Sure.
Fract is the next big one, PlayStation exclusive that comes out in June.
Nice.
Oculus, I'm sorry, Epic Games Store, and this week is giving away 3 out of 10 season 2. And I don't know if you remember, but they gave us 3 out of 10 season 1 for free last year. Apparently, season 2's ready. Maybe we should go watch season 1.
What is 3 out of 10?
It's a story driven game slash experience. I don't know. It looks like it's all about the story to me.
Okay. Yeah, I never heard of it, but I'm gonna have to go into my store and get it. It's free.
It's free.
Yep, free is free.
Oculus Quest Store. The daily deal is Waltz of the Wizard for $8. And if I'm not mistaken, this is one of those titles. Yep, there you see it, that supports hand tracking. So
Yeah.
$8, not a bad deal for this one.
Yeah, especially if you want one of those games that's got hand tracking. So there's not too many of them out there yet. So
Yeah, you can stack that mobile 25 code on top of it and get it for $6.
oh God, how cheap is that? What a steal.
Yep. We got a couple of new bundles this week, as we normally do. Some good ones though. Angry Birds Isle of Pigs, which is a great party game, maybe the best party game I've played in VR, and Fail Factory, which this is an Oculus Studios game that's highly reviewed. I haven't played this one, but it looks pretty cool. Anyway, the bundle with the two of them together is only $15.
It looks like a good game that your kids would like. Fail Factory, right? I know Angry Birds, dude. Now I don't know. Did you play through the new levels yet? Because you were like the Angry Bird aficionado, and what an amazing game in VR. Everybody knows Angry Birds, right? So in my opinion, Angry Birds is worth $15, and you get the Fail Factory for free.
Yeah, and I already have the Angry Birds on Quest, so like Fail Factory to get it with this discount on it is only like $3 or
Oh my
$4.
God, dude. I mean, that's a no-brainer to me because I guarantee one of your kids is going to enjoy this game.
Yeah, yeah, but where does it stop? Like, I keep buying these games. Like, I bought that puzzle game that looks amazing on Quest for like $5 last week, and
Well, imagine
still
this.
haven't played
Imagine you buy Fail Factory, and I'm hating to put this out there right now, Wes, because this is the kind of spring and summer I expect. And I don't know what your weather's like over there realistically, but imagine you have another power outage because of some rain, some weather event, and you've got a game. You're like, I've played everything, and that's the day you pull Fail Factory out and check it out. You only paid $3, $4 or whatever. It's a price of a cup of coffee, and it's sitting there waiting for that rainy day when you're looking for something new. You know what I mean?
yet. That's true. I mean, we did just get $5 from Mash Daddy. By the way, thank you, Eric, for the
Yeah.
$5 donation. If we didn't say it already, so I mean, that's a copy of Fail Factory right there.
I think it's worth it, dude. I mean, it looks like it's polished enough, worth trying. It helps the devs, and I guarantee one of your kids at some point, even when you're not even paying attention, they're going to be playing this and enjoying it, and you'll come home and find out that they love it, you know?
All right, so let's see here.
And Drew
Let's
wants to know
see.
if Fail Factory's any fun. I've never played it, but I mean, it's got a big enough following. I would imagine it's fun. I don't know.
Let's see here.
Couple
What are we
bucks.
doing here? Stop it. I didn't click on that. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24. Stop it. 27, 30, 33, 36, 39, 42, 45, 48,
I think he's counting thumbs
51,
down. Oh,
54, 57, 60, 63.
he's counting how many games he has. Now it just dawned on me what you're doing.
If we have a rainy day here that takes the power out for a week roots, I have 63 titles in my Oculus Quest library that we can maybe find something to play.
Well, that's true, but maybe you've been waiting for Fail Factory. So that's why I tell people the 256 gigabyte to me is a no brainer with this particular model because everybody will say 64 gigs is enough, but if you want to have every game at your fingertips in a situation like you did where you have no power and you want a good library. I've got 65, 70 plus games myself, and they're all bangers, bro. If I add Climb 2, another banger. And imagine this, like if I, felt randy and wanted to like let my kids borrow it, which I don't know that I would ever do because I don't trust them. But they've got, can you imagine having a Quest 2 and having all of those games at your fingertips and you've never tried any of them? That's crazy, bro.
So that's what I was going on about at the top of the show, was just how the Quest library has matured. Like I could be happy with just my Quest right now. If it's all I had, there's some amazing titles on it, and there was some wide variety too when it comes to cross plats.
Yeah.
So
Yep, absolutely.
anyway, the other Quest bundle this week is something much more intriguing to me than even Angry Birds and Fell Factory, since I already have Angry Birds. Shadow Point and Mare. You heard me talking about Mare earlier in the show, as being one of on my short list of the 5 or 6 Quest games that I still want that I don't have. And Shadow Point, I mean, by all rights, it's on the list too. I don't own Shadow Point. It's another one that I played through game sharing, which is kind of dangerous these days with the Facebook integration. So, uh, at $31 to get these 2 titles, I mean, that's a pretty compelling bundle. And now I've never tried it, but if I can use that mobile 25 on a bundle, like, no, we might be picking this one up.
I don't say why you couldn't. The only thing that sucks about bundles is you can't do refunds. That's where they get you. You buy a bundle and you decide you don't like either one of the games or both. Sorry, it's a bundle. You can't refund it. Which they're not very clear on it. And I mean, it doesn't come up very often, but I wish they were a little bit more clear on that. But yeah, I forgot about this game, and I do own Shadow Point, and I've kind of been curious about Mare. I wonder what the cost would be for me to just get Mare by itself. Let me check that because I want to know, and inquiring minds want to know, Wes.
There you go. See,
Yeah.
I have played Shadow Point, and I know that it's one of the best puzzle games in all of VR. So I'm going into it with that knowledge.
Okay.
I know I wouldn't want a refund, and I'm fairly confident that Mare is going to be my type of jam as well.
So I get a $4 discount, it says, because it's $15.99 for Mare by itself. Normally
There you
it's
go.
$20. It's got 103 ratings, 4 stars. Definitely looks like it could be a good game. Does anybody in the chat played it? Is it something that Roots would like, considering I'm not much of a puzzle person, although it does look really good. And we always thought the production looked really good. He couldn't use Mobile 25 for the Beat Saber packs. That's weird.
But you can use it on things that are on sale. So I just haven't tried it on bundle yet. I don't know if it'll work on a bundle or not.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Speaking of bundles, Humble Bundle having a fairly significant VR sale right now. A lot of great titles for super low prices. Roots, how about Batman Arkham VR for $5? I mean, this game's been out a few years, but to this day, still one of the most polished experiences, visually speaking, in VR, and still one of the most mind-bending endings that I've experienced to this day.
Yeah, for a game that's 5 years old, dude, this game is amazing. Or I guess it's a game. It's an experience game. The only thing that I don't like about this game, which I've said about several different games in the last 6 months, I want more. Like after playing this, you want a full-fledged Batman game, right? Because this game it's got everything. It kind of opens your eyes to how amazing it could be. And then you mix that with, the technology of 2021 versus 2016. And now your guy is actually running around and doing everything on top of what this experience does. Really good. And I would say it's worth $5 all day long. It's pretty much worth what it cost originally, although it was a little short, but for $5, Really no reason not to pick it up if you don't own it and you're a Batman fan. So
Yeah, Limp Knox beat me to it. Says I bought Batman VR and it looks so good. The title screen, uh, look at the city is worth the $5. And that's exactly what I was about to say is that it would be worth me getting this on PC just to put on my G2 and go to the title screen because the title screen has you standing out on the terrace like Bruce Wayne does, overlooking Gotham City. And it is just breathtaking, the view.
well, what's
Uh,
cool about it is this is legit like an actual you're doing detective work, right? You're trying to figure out what happened. You're going to scenes, you're looking at the clues. Like this is like I would say if you had a full 100% amazing Batman VR experience type of thing, this would be like maybe 60% of what you would hope from that. Like it has so much to it. Um, and it was, I would say if somebody said, okay, they're coming out with a new Arkham Batman game, try the demo. That this is what I would say. This could be an amazing demo for a fantastic game if they ever made a full game out of it. So
yeah, yeah. And when you get to the bottom of the mystery and start putting together the story and what's actually happening, I mean, it's dark and it's awesome.
yeah, super cool.
I want to play it again now. That I think
Yeah,
about
no,
it.
I was
It's a
watching this
good game.
trailer and I was thinking how cool it was. It was just really good for as you know, as much as we wanted more for $5. It's a really good game.
Yeah, yeah. Highly recommended. $5. Into the Radius. DLSS routes coming soon if not already enabled. 21 bucks on the bundle right now.
Yeah, what an amazing deal. I'll tell you what, Scion, Scion's baby, and somebody said this, I think, in the chat earlier to Scion, that DE or whatever, went revisited this Into the Radius game recently, and he is singing a completely different tune. Now, it's almost like he's was saying, you know, the way that you talk about it, you know what I mean? It's changed so much that he's actually singing praises about it now. Um, they've done such a phenomenal job of making this game what they envisioned it to be, right?
Yeah, CM Games has they should be proud of they've uh they've put the work in, man. They've made this thing into a gem.
Yeah,
They've taken a lump of coal and turned it into a diamond.
yeah, absolutely.
Super hot. No one should buy it. It's one of the best games in VR, and it's a great deal at $12. But don't buy it because as long as people are buying it, we're never going to get that sequel. So
Absolutely.
$12 on the Humble Bundle store. One of the best games in VR to this day. But don't buy it.
Absolutely. And I have a customer. I just he just subscribed recently to the channel, and he was telling me when I saw his PlayStation 5 that was unopened, he was the guy that I told you that he was military and got it like in some raffle or something. He bought it, but he got the rights to do it. And I asked him about PlayStation VR, and he said that because he had it, he had PlayStation VR as well, not used it yet for this, but he said he was stuck on Super Hot. And I was like, dude, like I just started going. I said, have you tried Hitman 3? I mean, I started unloading all this information, and that's why he subbed because I think he knew know what I'm talking about. So
Yeah. Well, hello, sir. I hope you're watching, and thank you for your service if you are.
yeah, we appreciate you for
Uh, Red Matter Roots is $15 through the Humble Bundle store, and this is probably the entire reason why I haven't bought it already on the Quest stores because I can get it for $10 less on the Humble Bundle for PC.
sure. And it's a better version. It's gonna look superior on your G2. Absolutely.
All right, Scion.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. It's funny.
Gorn, $10. You know, probably a bit overrated, but that don't mean it's bad. It's quite good, actually. It's just it's not the second coming the way people make it out to be.
Nah, well, they're starting to come around, Wes. People aren't making it out to be the second coming anymore, but it's still a good game. And $15. Or would you say $15, is it?
10
10.
bucks.
$10. That's definitely worth $10.
I agree. It certainly is worth $10. Zero Caliber is worth 16 though, and I would buy that first.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, so you recently, and I forgot to follow up on this. Somebody in the Discord said this. They followed up with $16 in the sale, and then they said that Medal of Honor is $16 as well. Is that still possible? That's what somebody said in the Discord, and I didn't follow up with my question. Should have been, where is that? Because I may actually pick that up for $16. Although
Yeah,
I don't, look on your face doesn't sound like it's real.
that don't sound real.
No.
That does not sound real. I would buy it for 16, and I have access to it in my library. So, um, yeah, I would buy Medal of Honor for 16. I would buy Zero Caliber for 16.
Yeah, for sure.
Killing Floor Incursion. Do you want a good, polished zombie game that you can play with a friend? The full campaign co-op? Well, then you want Killing Floor Incursion. I've beaten this game multiple times, and it's fun every time. And it's just good, clean, wholesome fun. Rich, you can tear their arms off and beat them with it. It's
Yeah,
pretty awesome.
good old wholesome fun. Radio Runt, we need you and Scion in there. We'll do a multiplayer, bro. Let's do it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you can do. I think it's just 2 players, but yeah, yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah, Onakazi says maybe it was $16 off for Medal of Honor. Maybe. I know, I'll have to look it up because somebody because they were, that was the comment in Discord, was that Zero Caliber is only $16, and then someone else said, well, so is Medal of Honor, and I was like, what?
Yeah, what? That doesn't sound right.
Oh.
Um, but yeah, Killing Floor Incursion worth 8. Contagion VR Outbreak worth 6, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. And Radio Run says nope to Killing Floor Incursion. Not gonna happen, bro. So
It's incredibly visceral, and they have these spider zombies that are like they're people. They have people's faces, but they crawl around like spiders.
dude, that sounds cool.
And yeah,
Yeah,
it's pretty awesome.
just stand behind me, Radio Run. Roots will keep you safe, bro. I promise.
Okay. We'll protect you, Radio, right? It'll be okay, bro.
Yeah, he says no Radio Run, none, no Killing Floor for him. He's out. He's out before he started.
Onakazi says he thinks Medal of Honor was down to 40ish recently. Yeah, I think that's more accurate. And having not played it since the update, I'd say it's probably worth around $40. That's what it should have launched at, probably.
Yeah, yeah, I'll pick it up when it's cheap.
Paradise Decay says I don't remember Killing Floor being so gory. Yeah, dude, it's completely gory.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's pretty creepy. It's actually one of the better zombie games, multiplayer wise, as far as melee wise, right? It's not as much of a shooter. I mean, they have shooting, right? I believe, but it's mostly swords and other stuff. So
Well, they have also there's tons of guns and grenades and knives and just all sorts of stuff.
it's crazy.
3D SEN, one of the coolest applications I've experienced in VR, allows you to play your old Nintendo Entertainment System ROMs in full-on 3D. It works like a charm. It's the original game that you've always known and loved, only it has 3D depth now. Even games like Mario are cooler inside the VR headset, thanks to this application, which is only $14 on Humble right now.
I always think of that one YouTuber that does the retro gaming, the one that was on our 2020 show. Whenever I see stuff like this, this is made.
Riggs.
Yeah, this is Riggs. This is made for him, bro. Like, and I saw a post on Facebook, Mash's Facebook group recently, and somebody had posted, this is the only way to play these type of games, right? Is this type of stuff in VR. And I got to thinking, man, 3D version, we love it with Vorpex, right? If you're like a retro nerd, like you love retro games, I can't imagine playing these games any other way, right?
Yeah, it's totally awesome, and it makes me wonder, where is the Oculus Quest version of this program at? We need this on App Lab even.
Yep, absolutely. Lipnock says it's a must own, and I definitely agree.
And I also think I don't know if it still is. At one time, this was on Infinity.
Really? Wow.
Yeah,
Well, definitely check that out. If it is, that's a steal right there.
let's check it out in real time. If my Infinity's working, that I think they were just some just earlier today. I had a difficult time trying to research the new releases.
Okay.
So hopefully I have it lined up now. All right, so let's go to games and type in 3SEN. It's not giving me anything, so it's probably not on here anymore. No, it gave me nothing in the search results. I think it was on there before, but it must have just been for a limited time.
Cool.
You know, they're showing Ubris on here now.
Really?
Like it's not out yet, but there's a landing page for it.
Nice.
Yeah, it says
Yeah,
where'd it go?
well, Void has a good point. He said he'd totally get this if he had any interest in playing any NES game ever again. And that's the thing, is like not everybody's into retro gaming. And so if you're not into retro gaming, this would be absolutely horrible to you. Like why would I want to go play an old graphic game in VR? But it's kind of like the same premise of playing some of these other games we play in Vorpex with 3D, to be able to play it again in a three-dimensional way that you cannot play on a at least I don't have a 3D screen. And even when I did, it's not the same through those cheapy glasses, right? I mean, actually having it in the headset, it's better than any 3D I've ever seen. So I would imagine for somebody like John Riggs, this is like a dream come true, right? So
Yeah, yeah. Too bad for that guy. I don't think he has PCVR. I think he only plays Quest and PlayStation.
yeah, well,
So
stepping stone. Maybe he will eventually. But Glam Crotch said he picked up the bundle VR game. He wants to know how he can get the Steam codes to us. Essentially, it'll give you an option to click on it, and then it'll give you the code, and then you just copy the code and then just whisper it to either Wes or myself. We'll add it to the vault.
yeah, Discord.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Discord.
just hit me up on Discord. And by the way, big thank you. We've had a couple other people donate their extra codes over the last week as well. So big thank you to you
Ooh,
guys. We have a fairly substantial code vault going right now, and it's 100% thanks to support from you guys when things like this go on. So
absolutely.
we thank you for your donations, and we will find them good homes.
Well, check this out. Lipnox VR says 3D Sen also, you can move the camera around. It's not just like a 3D TV only. So
Yeah.
it's next level. So yeah, that sounds amazing. Yeah,
He
just
says,
don't.
so just don't redeem. Yeah.
Yeah,
Don't redeem it on Steam. Just either copy it and paste it and bring it to us in Discord, or you can. A lot of people like to screenshot it and just send me the picture.
yeah. And we definitely appreciate that. And as does the community. Somewhere down the road, somebody's going to be playing some games because of you. So we appreciate that.
100%. Thank you very much. Where am I here?
Apex.
Apex.
Yeah, Apex.
Apex Construct. We've talked about this game a bunch. $5 is a pretty solid deal on this. 4 to 6 hour archery adventure, which still holds up in my opinion.
Yeah, $5, dude. It's really got a good story. It's got a good action. It's $5, bro. Deal.
Yeah, coming from Fast Travel Games, one of the better VR houses in the world, and I just cannot wait, Roots. The time is at hand. Wraith the Oblivion Afterlife. It's next on the list, man. When we have our list of stuff, new releases to cover, it's Wraith's turn, man. It's time, and I cannot be more excited for it.
Yeah, less than 2 weeks.
Yeah, dude, I can't wait. Stay tuned for that. Click the bell if you're new. You're gonna want to check this one out.
Absolutely.
Lipnock says Apex has great controls for the bow aiming. Yeah, man, it was good at archery before all these other games came along. Apex has been around for a while, and it showed people how fun archery could be in VR. way before a lot of these other titles even came. So
Yeah, absolutely.
and it's cool because it's not like your standard analog bow and arrow. You're firing these charged energy bolts at the enemies.
Yeah, I mean it's got a good story. I like the story and it's really intriguing. So
Yeah, absolutely. All right, lost my place again.
Thumper.
Thumper, $8 for Thumper, and you hear me go on recently about Thumper quite a bit because I feel like this game is severely underrated. Uh, I've played this game and own it across 3 different platforms now. And when people talk about the best rhythm games in VR, I don't think Thumper gets enough love. Um,
I think you
you
need
should,
to let us know how good it looks in the G2. That would be
well,
amazing,
you
right?
know what? I haven't tried it in the G2 yet. Generally, these days when I play Thumper, I just play it on my Quest because I have the standalone.
It's so
But
gorgeous. I mean, just look at this trailer. Can you imagine how good it's going to look in the G2?
yeah, and really, the ability to get immersed in the game is kind of crucial. This is one of those games you want to zone in on. If you're going to do well in it, it's because you're zoned into it. And I got to imagine that playing it in the G2 would probably uh, be the most immersive way I have at my disposal to play it.
Yeah, tracking doesn't matter either. You know what I mean? It's a controller, so you're sitting there. It just has no bearing on it. It's a perfect game for it.
Yeah, one of the first games I played in VR, Thumper, and still
Wow.
playing it to this day.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, man. That games like Thumper and Res Infinite, these games are free on PlayStation right now, by the way, and they were on the PSVR demo disc 1, and we've come full circle now. They're being given away for free, but still both titles, still titles that I play to
Yeah,
this day regularly.
amazing games.
Torn, a very pretty game. Torn is especially when you get inside the mansion and start looking through some of these rooms. This is a big place, and exploring the mansion really most of the draw of this game to me. But with that said, it has an intriguing story as well. Now, a lot of people say that the ending's garbage, and I have not finished it. So, at the point that I've made it up to, this is a solid game and certainly worth the $7 that they're asking for it.
Wow, that's a good deal. Puzzles are really different in this too, right? Like very outside the box. I remember it being just a different crazy puzzle game that I made the mistake of taking a little bit of a break on, and then I just was so far. I tried to go back and I didn't know where I was at, and there's so much to this area, and so you got to gathering all these memories and $7. What a good deal. This is actually a long game, and it even if the story isn't the best at the end, what I've played of it, like you said, is definitely worth $7.
Yeah, for sure. Lipnox says, "Is Torn scary?" It's not a horror game. I would say that there's a little spookiness to it, but I wouldn't call it a horror game.
He also wants to know, is it torn teleport only? I don't think it's teleport only. I thought I remember walking around.
I don't remember. It's been a long time since I played it.
Yeah.
Uh, Ice Vogel says, PSVR demo disc. I miss Star Child. Too bad that I know what you're saying. It's too bad it didn't come out and that it got canceled. Yeah, man, Star Child, one of those weird ones that just kind of went MIA, and we'll probably never see it, unfortunately, because it looked amazing. Um, Sony said Star Child was canceled. Playful said that Star Child is not canceled. Sony said, "Here's your money back, all you people that pre-ordered it,
Mm.
because it's canceled."
Well, the
So,
developer has the last word, right? If they want to continue to work on their game and try to make it better, they can still put it out. And Diz the Game Cat has a good point. He says all the puzzles are the same. They are very samey, but they're different it's a different type of style of puzzles as far as any that I've ever seen. But it does get a little bit samey. I think, like you said, the story, the That the exploring the mansion, it definitely is. It's a pretty cool place. So
Yeah, that was it for me. It really wasn't so much about the puzzling, other than checking out this big, beautiful building, and the story was quite unique as well.
yep,
Blast On Roots. It might be time to get in on Blast On at $7.
$7, huh? What a steal. What's the normal game price on this?
It's 10, and you know
Okay.
what? I think they just updated this game this week.
This is also on Viveport
This
Infinity,
week.
if I'm not mistaken, or maybe I'm not. I thought I could have sworn I remember saying that
I
before.
think you might be right on that, actually.
Okay.
I guess we can go to it in real time again, but
Libsnox has a good point. He says he'd pay $7 just to walk around the mansion. I could care less about the puzzles. Sometimes that's the truth, and the story isn't bad. It's actually intriguing. Now, whether it ends the way that people want it to or not, that's a different story. Believe it or not, I've actually heard people say that the ending of Game of Thrones sucked because they didn't like the way it ended, and I thought the way it ended was logical and it was the way it was supposed to go. I liked it, you know what I mean? But sometimes people get an idea of how they want it to be, and then it's never going to live up to that expectation, so they just trash it.
for what it's worth, I agree with you. Like, it wasn't the perfect ending to Game of Thrones, but it could have been way worse than what it was. But I think it took some unnecessary heat for that.
No, that's just because people wanted it to be different. And like I said, it's the story's fucked up, bro. Like a guy had his
They
penis
wanted what
chopped
these
off.
people wanted. They wanted Jon Snow to marry his sister and rule forever and live happily ever after.
And she was crazy, bro. Like, let's not miss the fact that as time went by, there's a reason why the lineage of that family was fucked up, man. She was no different. She was turning out to be the same. So I think there's a lot of weirdness in that thing, but it was a very dark show and it was good.
Blast On has added seasonal quests as well as a new vector gun, with bullets that ricochet and bounce off surfaces.
Oh, wow, nice.
So they new updates for Blast On, starting this week and going on regularly.
You
Going
said $7?
$7.
Wow, dude, that's a little bit more than a quad venti white mocha.
And how about resolution games, man, coming through with the quality with, Angry Birds Isle of Pigs, which they recently completed with they've doubled the campaign size of the game, like literally doubled it from launch to what it is now. The second half is way better than the first half, and they added in the ability to build your own levels and share them online.
Wow.
So, Angry Birds Isle of Pigs, an awesome game. They came out with Akron, uh, which was well reviewed as well. I didn't play it, but because of the style of game that it was. But then they come out with Blast On, which is a completely different type of game, getting the same type of stellar support that Angry Birds is getting, constantly improving it. And then within 3 weeks, Roots, I think DeMea is going to be out.
Nice. You know what I want, Wes? I want this game Blast On the same way it is, platform spaced out a little bit, and then have the platforms a little bit bigger, and you've instead of shooting, you've got these discs, and oh wait, that's Tron. I want Tron in VR, bro. Like that would be the only way I want to go 1v1 if I'm trying to knock you off that thing. Because I've always wanted to be in the Tron world, and I think it'd be cool.
Yeah. Well, I think this looks pretty cool, and it is not on Viveport Infinity, so you might want to drop your $7 on it.
Yeah, right now, $7, dude. What a steal!
But not so fast, because To the Top is one of the best games in VR, period, regardless of platform, and it's only $10.
Wow, that's a steal, dude. $10. I learned something about this game the other day, Wes, and I kind of touched on it a little bit. I've never played through the campaign, so I was actually kind of giddy about that because these levels are so elaborate, and it's like an adventure going through these levels, right? And talk about sense of scale as far as heights go and how big these things
Dude,
are.
I don't think I've ever felt heights in VR the way that this game makes you feel it. Like it'll take your knees away when you get up to the top of some of these things and jump off.
Yeah, absolutely. And I can't wait to play through some more of that. Eventually get the money show filmed and out there to you guys, because we tried, and personal stuff conflicted like it always does, Wes. Personal life sucks
Yeah.
sometimes.
We're gonna get it, dude. We're gonna get in there and do it this week. I have faith. Although we do have some exciting other things channel related that we're going to be working on this week as well.
Hell
That's
yeah.
at the top of my priority list, even over the money show.
Yeah, and I guess what, Wes, I kind of touched on a little bit. I'm getting myself a gun stock pretty soon here, and we'll be able to gun stock talk between us, and you're gonna be kind of tweaking things. You learned some tips and tricks on the gun stock, right?
Yeah, I
So
learned some mistakes that I made, and the reason why I was having such of a difficult time in certain areas. So, yeah, you'll have my mistakes to, and my knowledge of my mistakes to avoid making the same ones.
absolutely, I'm excited.
Um, let's see here. We are at 11 table tennis for $10.
Yeah, this is definitely a game that I want to get back into, because I heard that the gun stock actually I'm getting has a attachment, Wes, for specifically for this game for 11 table tennis. I would imagine it works for other paddle games as well, but um, I guess we'll find out if that's going to make it more immersive. Does anybody else have that paddle thing? Because I kind of curious to see how much that would make it feel more immersive, right?
Yeah, I got to imagine it'll help a little bit if it feels more like a ping pong paddle in your hand with that bit of heaviness, to it. Which, to be honest, though, just the attachments for the gun stock, it gives it that same type of weight distribution because you have those heavy magnets that are attached to the rings, so it would kind of feel like a ping pong paddle to begin with.
Nice. Well, it's kind of exciting.
Onikazi says to the top is what I use the mobile 25 code on. Well, you could not have picked a better game, friend. This is when I say this is one of the best games in VR, I mean it. Like, dude, this is probably what top 20 all time, all platforms.
It's got so much content to it, and the only thing that I would have knocked it for on App Lab was, or before App Lab, was the lack of multiplayer. Now that it's got multiplayer, it's a phenomenal game. I mean, it was good without the multiplayer, but it'd be like if Borderlands 2 VR suddenly PC VR dropped co-op. You know what I mean? That's how big it is. I believe for To the Top. To be able to have that multiplayer is huge. So,
I agree. And the soundtrack, amazing.
yeah. Yep. Very cool.
Paranormal Activity, one of the best horror games in VR for $10. Truth, I have this one in my library, and I don't remember buying it,
Isn't
but
that
I
kind of
have it.
weird?
It's there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was looking at this, and it actually looks pretty creepy, right?
yeah. It's one of the best. I put it on par with the Exorcist Legion VR.
Yeah.
I think that those two titles are of similar quality and scariness.
Yeah. How cool would it be if you had like a game like this that, like, one out of they just documented 1 out of 1,000 people that play it are going to be possessed. It's like rolling the dice. That would make it a little bit scarier, right? Because
Yeah, make it a lot scarier.
yeah, crazy.
Down the rabbit hole, $14. We've said it many times on this. This game is underrated
Yeah,
in VR. Very good storytelling, nice surreal environments. Worth $14.
absolutely, all day.
All right, that brings us into the Humble Bundle, which is just amazing. $15, 8 games, Detached, Job Simulator, Aspire 1, Bridge Crew, Sirento, Borderlands 2 VR, Swords of Gora, Surgeon Simulator. $15 for Borderlands 2 VR is a steal. All this other stuff is just the icing on the cake.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, looking at Steam quickly, there were a few notable sales. Onward for $12, Roots. It might be time to finally try that one out.
I've got it. I wouldn't mind playing. Onward is more kind of like Tarkov in a sense, where you get one life, you can shoot each other. It doesn't have the looting type of stuff, but it is different in that aspect. I don't think that there's any other shooters out there really where you have to be more aware of friendly fire, and there's no tags above people's heads. Like, you just have to be aware of who is who, right? Very, very, very possible to kill your teammate and piss people off.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Les Marwick asks, is to the top playable seated? 100% very playable seated. You have a turn function built into the controller, and you can reach things at a pretty good distance because your hands extend out from you.
Yep.
So it's actually quite easy to play it seated.
Yeah. Ice Fogel says he just got missed with the code. What a great pickup. I need to get back into that.
100%. Gnomes and Goblins Roots has finally came down to a reasonable price at $19.
Yeah. I definitely think it's worth $20 all day. I think it was on Viveport Infinity, assuming it still is. And I think it's way worth playing through.
Yep, and that's half price from what it launched at. So
yeah, $40 is ridiculous for it, in my opinion. It's too much.
Organ Quarter, a bit dated in terms of graphical style, but this game is messed up, man. And for $12, I think that's a pretty good deal.
It is very messed up and definitely creepy.
And then we have the Binary Meal Bundle. This bundle, Roots, gives you Rush, Gun Club, and Mini Motor Racing X. So some good multiplayer times to be had here. Rush, one of the best multiplayer titles in VR. $28 for those 3 games. I think that's pretty solid.
What does Mini Motor X usually run for? Like 24, right? Or 19, I thought.
Yeah.
One of the two.
It launched at 30. It was 30 at launch.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Mini Motor X for me is the gem of those 3, and the other 2 are just extra amazing games to get on top of it for a great price, right?
I would say that Rush is the gem of it for me, and Mini Motor X is the icing on the cake here.
I think your soul. I question your soul, bro. No, they're both cool. Mini Motor X is one of those amazing games that I need to get back into. It's just really cool.
And we're going to end it all off as we always do by checking Viveport Infinity for new titles. And we got 2 Roots. One of them more notable than the other one, but 2 new titles this week. First of all, Space Slurpees. This game keeps popping up everywhere, Roots. People talking about it. It might just end up taking down Gorilla Tag, but it's not free, so probably not. But this is basically Slitherio. I don't know if you've ever seen Slitherio, this PC game that went viral a couple of years ago. It's that, but in VR, and you're just using your hand like Z-Racer style to play.
I'll tell you what, Wes, am very, very aware of Slitherio or whatever. It's a big streaming game, even today. It was a lot bigger, like you said, a year and a half ago. But I didn't even know that. I mean, I saw that Rendered Reality had done a video on this. I didn't get a chance to check it out. I didn't know that that was what this is. And I think this is bigger than people think. I think this is a very popular genre, and I think it's going to take off. What's the cost on it? Oh, I guess this is free for Viveport Infinity.
This is Infinity, right?
Yeah. So I'm gonna be checking it out. I'm curious, bro.
Well, there you go. I think it's like $6 or $7 normally, but included with Infinity.
Yeah, Lipnock says Space Slurpees is amazing, and it looks really good. Looks cool.
It's no taco face, bro.
Well, I would submit that nothing is really a taco face. You know what I mean?
That's true.
You're gonna put up things with Tornuffalo? Come on.
And then last but not least, Samurai Slaughterhouse is now part of Port Infinity. And I don't know, man. It's Samurai Slaughterhouse. That sounds interesting enough to check out anyway, as part of your Viveport Infinity subscription.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is not Samurai. This is the video I should have had before, and I was wondering what happened to it for Gamertag, because he put out that video for that nightmare thing, right? Now
Yeah.
this is
Again,
Samurai. This is the Samurai Slaughterhouse. This actually looks intriguing, especially since it's free. Who doesn't want to be a samurai and slaughter some stuff, right?
yeah, I'm pretty sure this is early access title as well too. So lots of updates to come to this one.
Yeah, cool. And it's free on Viveport Infinity. That's the beauty of Infinity. You get to try something that you may have never tried and find out how good the Samurai Slaughterhouse really is.
Yeah, absolutely. So there you have it, friends. 2 new titles on Infinity. The best deal in VR gets even better, as it generally tends to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, and that brings us to our final reminder this week and every week, and that is how you can support our channel. Of course, if you're new to the channel, the best thing that you can do is subscribe and click the notification bell, which will allow you to keep up with our ever growing library of content here on the Virtual Strangers channel. Of course, if you've been a longtime subscriber and would like to do a little something extra, you can do so by supporting us on Patreon, where for as little as $3 per month, you'll gain access to our weekly show notes, insider updates, as well as the always awesome money show. $3 per month, a great deal. And again, thank you to everyone who supports us on there. We're growing quicker than I expected on there, and we appreciate all of you.
Yeah, and like we've stated before, it all goes back into the show, and we have exciting stuff coming up soon.
Very soon. Yeah, that's super exciting, and I legitimately mean that. I'm really excited for
Yeah,
what we're
me
about
too,
to.
man. It's about damn
do.
time that Roots and West get around to what we're getting ready to do. So
Yeah, it's legit. It's real, and it's going to hit you all like a ton of bricks when it happens.
yeah, and I'll tell you this, without even going into too much about it, what I told Wes is the most exciting part about it is it's 100% listener supported. So everything that's coming, you guys made it possible. So thank you. We really appreciate it.
Yes, yes. Thank you. Infinite thank yous for that. Um, you guys prop us up and make us better.
Yep.
All right. What else? Roots Discord. You can join the conversation, friends. The never-ending conversation that takes place in our home around our own coffee table, and we invite you to come in our home and make it your own. The invitation's down in the description below. Join the conversation. Join the Discord.
Absolutely. And like Wes always says, wipe your feet. You know, we're not just trying to trash our carpet here. And throw some comments out there. Let us know what you think of all the topics we just talked about. Talk about Roots' beard, Wes's cool t-shirts and backgrounds he always gets. Whatever that gets the algorithm going. So
Yeah, help us fight the algorithm by leaving comments. Doesn't matter what they say, which I guess it kind of does. No spam, nothing too insensitive.
yeah.
Uh, but yeah, you guys just leave a comment down below. Let us know what you wish listed.
Yeah.
And just for the record, those of you who are interested in finding out who won the second chance giveaway, we're going to let that go another week to give our listeners ample time to enter. So this time next week, Virtual Strangers 102 will announce the giveaway winners.
Absolutely.
All right. With that said, friends, I'd like to thank you all once again for watching. For Roots, I'm Wes. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye now.
Take it easy.